Because if you think I'm here to play around with y'all, God damn it, I'm not. All right.
We're the whites. Nobody ever cares if bad things happen to us anymore.
hit that like button, people. Don't just sit there vibing out. Hit the like button, damn it. Show requires more than vibes. We need likes and vibes, people. Come on. Come on, give it up. Help a brother out. As we get today's show started, before we look to the future, I want to look to the past. Every now and then, one of these videos from, 100 or so years ago pops up. 1951 wasn't really 100 years ago, but damn near. Damn near. It's closer to 100 than not. And as we ease into the day's show, I want you to see what America looked like before the border was open. Think LA Confidential. Think Denzel Washington, devil in a blue dress. Him and Mouse running around trying to figure out what happened to that white woman. Shout out to Carmen, sweetheart. Love you, babe. $4.99 super chat for the vibes. For the vibes, damn it. You don't know nothing about these vibes.
We need our weed. I don't wear it, but we need it.
Dolomite with the $2 in the chat. I mean, $2 in the hat to start the show right. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. We're going to start the show off right, I promise.
Uncle Remus, spinning his warm, funny stories.
Like, the marriage being been hijacked by fucking entertainers. Conservative entertainers, by the way.
The other day, yesterday, somebody typed in the chat a comment referencing the term anemoia. Am I pronouncing that right? I think it was bandit, maybe. It's a very white word to use. But anemoia, it's like nostalgia for a place that you've never actually experienced yourself. And I watched these videos from 100 years ago, from 50 years ago. This was what, 1951? It's 2025. It's what, 75-ish years ago? I got the anemoias. You don't even see a Mexican. Probably are, but you can't tell. It's quiet. God, California was really quiet when there was like very little nons. Before the nons all moved into California, it was quiet. It was orderly. The women wore dresses. The police were nice and friendly to you. You say the blacks had to stay on or close to Central Ave back in those days. They had Mexicans. They just acted right. Yeah, I know they had Mexicans back then, because even back then there was like, what was it, like the Zoot Suit War or whatever happened? You know, the Mexicans got a little upset about something one day. Yeah, look, no prostitutes walking around. And the value of film like this is you should always look back, if only to remember and to bask in nostalgia at what they took from you. Why can't we have a version of America, of California like this now? Why does our version of California look so much shittier than their version of California? The past is not only a foreign country, it's an alien planet. I wonder what street this is, and I wonder what's happening on this street right now. Like, I wish I could zoom in on those two street signs and get a cross section here. What intersection is this right here? Because I'm just curious, like with all the rioting and everything, I wonder what's happening literally on this exact street. It's like watching footage of Rhodesia before the fall. There's a phrase I see popping up on the right-wing Twitter accounts. We're all global Rhodesians now. No, before the fall. This is exactly what Rhodesia looked like the day before the hungry niggas took over. We are all global Rhodesians now. Man, that was an old bulldozer? Wow. LA looked like it used to be really beautiful, man. You could tell, you could just understand why people would have wanted to live there. You said that is Wilshire Boulevard near La Cienega? Thank you. Must be a resident. Yo, those LA detective shows, they made it look great. Gangster Squad. It looked like a dope time. This was like the decade right after the big war. So all the guys were still like kind of shell shocked from the war. Is this some kind of orchard? You said that you lived there in the mid-'60s. It's probably as a kid. And then in the early 90s, you came back as a full-grown adult. And again, David, the past is an alien planet. Like, my 2025 brain can't even comprehend this type of California. The only way to make it make sense is this is California when it was still racism. Pretty soon they sucked all the racism out of California and it just went to hell. That's the only way to really to really square this in your mind properly. This is California before they sucked all the racism out. And it was glorious. It was beautiful. Ivan has a question in the chat. Apparently, there was a wisdom that the forefathers had that we seem to have lost. Yeah, you know, it's so funny. This is how it did feel riding through some small towns. Just looking at the environment, just breathing the air in, just like, yeah, I can tell why they racism here. I would race them if I lived here too. I don't want nobody messing this up for me. It's a great time. I bet this was around the time just before people started locking their doors. You know how people like to talk about that time in America where you could just sort of live and not have to lock your doors at night? You know, almost every community was a safe community. We don't live like that anymore. This is how we live now. Sounds more familiar to you guys? Does this sound like the neighborhood you guys are used to? You know, you can't really tell if it was like ICE or the Marines or LAPD, but law enforcement was going ham last night, man. Shout out to law enforcement. They wasn't really trying to take any of you guys. They wasn't really trying to hear anything from anybody last night. Law enforcement was doing their job. Shout out to law enforcement. And you know what? I feel nothing for these people at this point. Because it's effectively an insurrection by foreign nationals. Look at this. All the Western nations are rioting over immigration right now. If they haven't started rioting, they'll get there. Immigration is really it's the big thing in the Western countries right now. We've been joking about invading Mexico. Mexico keep acting like they really want to smoke. I don't know why Mexico keep acting like they want the smoke, man. Y'all got to stop.
Jorge Castañeda, he serves as Mexico's foreign minister from 2000 to 2003. He's also currently the Global Distinguished Professor of Politics and Latin American and Caribbean Studies at NYU here in New York. Jorge, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Paul. It's good to be with you.
Of course. Professor, we've seen Mexican flags in both peaceful demonstrations showing solidarity with the millions of Latinos who call LA County home. By some estimates, that resilient Mexican community in LA, some 4 million strong. But we've also seen that flag seen in images showing vandalism, destruction. On the latter, Professor, do you think that those images damage the greater cause of migrant advocates? And also, do you think that the Trump administration is really capitalizing on some of the images coming out of LA?
It's Trump's fault that you guys are waving Mexican flags while you're attacking American law enforcement. Somehow it's Trump's fault that you guys are repping your set, right? It was all Trump's fault.
Well, I think that the vandalism certainly serves no useful purpose. And of course, President Trump skillfully uses it to advance his own agenda, particularly on immigration. The use of Mexican flags is more complicated. This is something that goes back actually to the 1990s, when many people protested against Proposition 187 at the time, and then also the early 2000s, where demonstrations all over the United States.
Waving your flag is almost always a sign of dominance and conquest, or at least the intent to. And this moment is no different. From an ethnic/nationalist position, people have flat out said, we are Mexican. This used to be Mexico. It will be Mexico again.
Took place against several laws that were being implemented then on immigration. So the use of the Mexican flag is not really that new. The issue here is that most, I would say practically all of the demonstrators, all of the protesters are American citizens. You would have to be quite reckless or foolish to be a Mexican citizen without papers or even as a legal permanent resident to go out and demonstrate today in these protests, because you're most likely to be arrested and deported, even if you're a legal permanent resident, certainly if you have no papers. So I think most...
That's the way it should be, by the way. That's exactly what should happen. You know who should go? This guy.
This is our city, and this was Mexico. You can't kick us out of the land that was ours. Donald Trump! Fascism! Let our people free! Let our people free! Suelta nuestra gente!
What's the windblower for?
That's for the fucking tear gas to blow it back at those motherfuckers. If you have a fucking blower, bring it out! Push them back! We will not do 1992 again with your fucking tanks! I was 12 then! I'm 44 now! I will die for my fucking kids! And all of these young people are here are my fucking kids! Because I'm an LA native mom! These are my fucking children you're fighting! You!
Women who talk like that, I don't think they actually have kids. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I thought that was a dude at first. My bad, all right? You understand how I could have been confused. Apparently that's an LA mom.
Major!
All these tacos are her children.
If you can hear me, expect me in your office on Monday for attacking my children!
If you could say something to Donald Trump right now, what would you say?
Donald Trump, you can suck my left nut, you can get out of my drawer. You're just Mac Salma Hayek when he give you the time of day, and because Claudia Sheinbaum make you look like a loser.
So that happened in LA yesterday.
Most of the people, if not all of the people who are demonstrating, are American citizens, and it's perfectly their right to use any flag they want, especially a flag that is important for them because it marks their heritage. That's where the enormous majority of the Latino population in Los Angeles comes from Mexico. And this goes back well over 100 years now. So yes, they're using a symbol of their heritage, but they are American citizens enjoying American freedoms. And what's questionable is whether those freedoms are being taken away now by not allowing them to demonstrate with a flag or without a flag.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you're addressing some of the backlash that we've seen.
And I watched a bunch of news clips today, kind of gearing up for the show, and I noticed how everybody is lockstep in agreement right now. Donald Trump's the bad guy. The protesters did nothing wrong. There was no violence. They're basically saying, Maxine Waters said there was no violence. You know what? We're going to jump actually to the the Congressional Black Caucus, right? Because these coons, we got to call them coons. The Congressional Black Caucus, y'all. I'm not even gonna rant like I did yesterday. I'm all out of it. I'm just done. I can't get upset like I did. You know, these niggas just some niggas, man. Can't be putting a whole lot of faith in them. What is the point of your particular ethnic affinity group if all you actually do, or all you've been doing lately, is supporting the interest of a completely different ethnic affinity group? And there are two levels to this criticism here, right? One, the Congressional Black Caucus should be looking out for the interest of Black Americans, not necessarily foreign-born Black people who happen to wind up living in America. These are two different groups of people, right? This is why the ADOS and the FBAs have a problem, because it's like, those Blacks actually are not Black like me. I'm American Black, and there's some other type of nigga, and I don't want them cashing in on my checks, all right? They wasn't with me getting whipped on a plantation. You know, it was a whole other type of thing. And so there's an issue with even the diaspora of Black people, right? Like, I want the Blacks that I vote for to look out for me, not these new niggas. And while we're at it, let's cut down on the amount of new niggas that we bringing in here. That way we won't have to have this problem so much, right? Because the more new niggas you invite, the bigger the problem is, the more difficult the problem, the more inescapable the problem becomes, right? Because you just keep bringing more and more people over here. Eventually, there are going to be enough of them to form their own block.
Proud representative of New York's 9th Congressional District, that's Central and Southwest Brooklyn. I want to thank my
Brooklyn is in the house. Fugly cunt.
Caucus colleagues, CHC Chair Adriano Espaillat, and KPAC Chair Grace Meng, for their leadership and presence here today. We are gathered here today because, like so many Americans, we are outraged by what we are witnessing in the streets of Los Angeles and in communities across our nation. President Trump's unlawful decision to deploy the National Guard onto the streets of Los Angeles is...
Hey, what's that white guy doing in the caucus? Is there a white people caucus? I just know there is a white man in the Congressional Caucus meetings. I know there is a Latino caucus. There's a Black caucus. There's even an Asian caucus, right? There might be a gay caucus for all I know. Never mind that. But I know there isn't a white caucus. But what's this white? Maybe he's a light-skinned Latina. Maybe he one of them albino Mexicans we were talking about yesterday. The White Panther. There's a white guy in this group, and suddenly I'm questioning this group's integrity. We got to stop the show to figure out why is this white guy on the stage with all the nons?
You teach me all my life that the white man is the devil? What the hell is that? Come on! You teach me my whole life that the white man is the devil. Now you tell me it's all right for him to come among us.
David says this is the Democratic caucus from California, not the Black caucus. Oh, really? They from California? Is that what you think?
Presence here today. We are gathered here today because, like chair of the Congressional Black Caucus and proud representative of New York's 9th Congressional District.
Do you understand what I'm trying to explain to you, David? Let me run that for you one more again, David.
And thank you all for joining us. I'm Congresswoman Yvette D. Clarke, chair of the Congressional Black Caucus and proud representative of New York's 9th Congressional District, that's Central and Southwest Brooklyn. I want to thank my Tri-Caucus colleagues, CHC Chair Adriano Espaillat, and KPAC Chair Grace Meng, for their leadership and presence here today. We are gathered here today because, like so many Americans, we are outraged by what we are witnessing in the streets of Los Angeles and in communities across our nation. President Trump's unlawful decision to deploy the National Guard onto the streets of Los Angeles is a reckless and inflammatory escalation, one designed not to restore calm, but to provoke chaos.
They blame Trump for people burning up police cars. You know, there's like a food delivery service in California called Waymo, and I think it's all like driverless, right? There's a driverless car. All the cars are self-driving, and they do like DoorDash or whatever, Uber Eats type of things. So apparently the rioters started ordering Waymos up to the riot location and then just torching the cars once they showed up.
Let's be clear about how this began. With peaceful protests sparked by the unlawful and inhumane targeting, detention, and deportation of our immigrant neighbors. And David Huerta, a California union president, arrested and injured during an immigration and customs enforcement raid last week, perpetrated by the Trump administration. The
That's what I'm talking about, party, bro. That's our
largely
business.
stabilized this.
We got the whole Congressional Black Caucus coming out riding for the ops, man. This is wild business. Let me skip ahead to the questions. Let me about right here, I think.
Them. And we want fairness and order.
This is a representation of our Democratic caucus to a large extent, because indeed.
When was the last time Democrats did something good for like Americans? I know it's a weird question to ask, but I'm curious now. When was the last time Democrats did something for regular Americans? Not gay people, because I know that's the first thing you're going to say, but like everybody else.
We are a reflection of the constituencies that sent us here to represent them. Having said that, we're open now for any questions you may have. Yes, could you state your name and your publication or outlet?
Yes, my name is Amy Shea, and I'm with the Daily Caller News Foundation. We've heard some Democrats say today that they condemn any violence that broke out in LA over the weekend. However, Congresswoman Maxine Waters has said that there's been no violence. She didn't see any violence. There wasn't anything happening in LA. And there's just a bit of a difference in messaging there from what we're hearing from a lot of other Democrats. Is that concerning at all, that difference in messaging or anything of that nature?
I think everyone is entitled to their opinion. She's there on the ground and she has her own observations. Any other questions? Yes.
I'm Lucy Cox with Fox News. So President Trump and the DOD have sent 700 Marines to LA, but they're needing additional training for domestic situations. So what do you think this says about the decision to send Marines there?
Well, I think it's a waste of taxpayer.
Don't train them. Don't give them crowd control training. Send them in there with raw combat skills, all right? I don't want you to train them how to not be Marines. That's what you want to do. You want to give them that RoboCop 2 treatment where they get like 150 directives instead of just, the 5 or 6 that was working. No, I want you to go in there and be Marines, okay? This is like combat. Some of you guys might even have like rifles and stuff. Maybe we give y'all some truncheons. Oh, you know what? I got a great idea. You know that thing that Worf has on Star Trek, like the Klingon sword? A batleth. A division of Marines, no guns, but they all are trained in the Klingon batleth. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually a great weapon because it's got that curve to it. You can use it to push people back. You can keep the edges sharp if you really want to. You can make the front part of it kind of dull. Listen, a battalion of Marines trained how to use the Klingon batleth.
$. The governor of the state of California has not requested this, and it's being imposed on his state. Yes.
Nick with Politico. I wanted to ask about a post on X last night by Senator Fetterman of Pennsylvania. He said that your party oozes the moral high ground when you refuse to condemn setting cars on fire, destroying buildings, and insulting law enforcement. I was wondering if I could get your response to that. Is this helpful for him to be criticizing others in the party?
He has a First Amendment right to say whatever he'd like to say.
I swear the Democrats are immune to good advice, man. Good advice just goes in one ear, stops and makes a U-turn and goes right back out that same ear. Doesn't even penetrate. Doesn't even get through.
Next.
Carrie Pickett for the Washington Times. Now, it's been reported that 14 law enforcement officers so far have been injured in LA rioting, and there have been reports of millions of dollars in a property damage. Do you believe, given these statistics, that these protests are peaceful and that they do not constitute an insurrection?
I don't believe there's an insurrection taking place. And I'd like to see the statistics around those who are ill and sickly who are currently being detained.
Oh, there's a bunch of ill, sick, old people. That's what you think? Never mind all the military-age Mexican males engaging with the police department, throwing bricks and throwing other kind of projectiles or whatever. Never mind all that.
One other question. Leader Jeffries recently said that every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach and are trying to hide their identities from the American people will be unsuccessful in doing that, and every single one of them, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified. Do you think that ICE agents should be identified and to the public, and why is the Democrat position that criminals should remain masked and law enforcement should be unmasked?
They want the law enforcement identifiable so they can track them down, find their families, and threaten their children. Simple as that.
Anyone that's enforcing the law or is an agent for peace or the law should not be anonymous. Why should they be anonymous?
What about those protesting, though?
I don't believe that anybody should be anonymous, but precisely someone that is enforcing the law, that comes into your house, knocks on your door, should not be anonymous. Their name should be branded in their uniform, and we should be able to identify their face.
You know, that whole women, gays, and felons thing, man, it's never going to die. Democrats can never defeat the women, gays, and felons allegations, man. That's probably the best, most succinct, like, negative criticism of, or not even criticism, just description. That is the most succinct description of the Democrats as a party. Women, gays, and felons.
To react
and I
to.
think that is the question, Ben, for the Trump administration.
Yeah.
That they clearly want to make this a moment where they talk about the enforcement of immigration laws. But is that more important than simply turning the dial down of intensity on the streets and getting these people off the streets?
I think they understand that people's lives are at risk. I think they understand how quickly things can get out of control. I think they saw what you mentioned earlier, and that was that LA clearly didn't have a plan the first several days. And having a family that's in law enforcement, a dad that has been a police officer in Memphis, Tennessee, when things get bad, they can go really bad really quickly. You see this happen when there's flashpoints. And the idea that we are going to now decide or argue or debate over who are good law enforcement and who are the ones that are antagonizing when clearly they're all trying to work together is total insanity when there's people that clearly want law and order. If I have a business in LA tonight, I want as many law enforcement as I can have there, regardless who they are. And by the way, this isn't unprecedented. I go back to the riots that happened in the 90s in LA. Everyone's acting like what Trump's doing tonight is like unprecedented. No, it's not. The Marines were called in by George Bush 41.
So every now and then we just got to send the Marines into California because the Mexicans get a little uppity. That's interesting.
Okay, Mandela, let him finish, then you can respond to them.
The idea that we should justify violence against police or ICE because we're separating families.
Just to be clear, I want to.
The rioters are.
The who?
The rioters, the people that are tagging police and dropping F-bombs and throwing things at them right now.
I just want to be very clear. No
they
one
are.
here
The people watching
is
TV
justifying
are.
violence against ICE. But
Here's what I will say.
Yes.
The idea that it's justifiable because a family's being split up. There's news in America every single day. There are children that cry when their mom or dad, who's an American citizen that breaks the law, gets arrested and goes to jail. I have watched it, and there's no rioting and looting over that because we understand that we're either a country of laws or we are not a country of laws. I
was thinking about remember Biggie, his first hit single, Juicy. So this goes out to all the people who called the police on me when I was standing in front of the building trying to make some money to feed my daughter. I feel nothing. I feel nothing. I've been through that. I know what that's about, Big. I feel nothing for these niggas. Let your babies cry. My kids was hungry. Sometimes it gets real. You gotta figure it out, bro. I figured it out. Let them figure it out.
Every day we send moms and dads who are American citizens to prison, and we separate them from their families. And you know why we don't feel sorry for them? Because we judge them on the law, and we say if you break the law in America, we put you in jail.
Mandela.
So why is it different for illegal immigrants?
Quickly, and then Maria Lynn.
It's all good, baby, baby.
I'm not sure what she means by truthfully, I'm not sure what she means by that. I mean, is she saying people in Los Angeles are criminals, all the immigrants are criminals? Like, what is she talking about?
I think she thinks that people that break into this country, and there are millions of them in California, that are here illegally, are criminals.
Illegal border crosses are at a historic low right now. It has not been this low since the 1960s.
Donald Trump was elected.
But this is why this is only a political. That is exactly why this is a political stunt. This is a political stunt because the illegal border crossings are not happening. I am saying
arresting criminals is not a political stunt. And at this point, the Democrats have allowed this problem to fester on purpose, right? So whoever would be the president to actually tackle the immigration problem on the whole, like Donald Trump is with mass deportation, this was always in the playbook. As soon as they try to tackle the problem, we get as many people into the streets as we possibly can. We spank the kids, we make them cry, then we record it, be like, oh my God, the kids are so sad. You know, we do all the things to make it look like it's worse than it really is. But no matter how bad it really gets or looks, the simple fact is, when the party's over, you have to kick people out of your house. Party's over. I don't even want you to stay to help us clean up. Just leave.
I am saying they are at incredibly low levels.
If you were trying to de-escalate, you would not trash the mayor, regardless of their party.
They don't know de-escalation.
If you were trying to de-escalate,
they don't know de-escalation.
If you were trying to, it doesn't.
Did you read it? The mayor's statement.
This is not tit
the
for
mayor's
tat.
statement. Hold on.
Hold on, Christine. What are you saying? Hold on, Christine. What are you saying about the mayor's statement?
Let's go back to what started all this. ICE went in. ICE went in to find the worst criminals that they were arresting that were accused of
they went
raping.
To Home Depot, Ben. That's actually literally what precipitated this. Let me
at least finish.
Yeah, Home Depot is one of those places where you just might find anybody there. A Mexican, a Guatemalan, an El Salvadorian, a Brazilian. Home Depot. It's like Rome. All roads lead to Home Depot.
The list, okay? Because I know you guys don't like the list, but it's.
I just want to make sure that you're not making general statements.
I'm not. I've got their names.
Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second.
Jesus Hernandez, 26, a Mexican national, was convicted of transporting a legal migrant into New Mexico. And then what did he do? Oh, he robbed some people. No big deal. I mean, I've got a whole list.
You know, shout out to Scott Jennings. He kind of laid out the playbook for how the white guy is supposed to deal on this panel. Just ignore the black girl when she tells you to stop talking. Just go ahead and finish up your point. The black girl, she's always going to tell you to shut up as soon as you open your mouth anyway. So just finish up your point. Just talk through her.
What precipitated these protests? What happened on Friday?
I go back.
It was a raid that occurred
by Marxist groups and the Democrat Party. That's what precipitated.
All right.
100%.
Okay.
They were planned for this. This is going to happen. Wait a minute. No, time out. This is going to happen all over the country.
Everybody.
Remember, how come Obama gets called the deporter in chief? Which I never really bought into that anyway. It was all theoretical. I didn't really feel the impact. Like with Trump in office, I felt the impact. I saw it in my real life. People were literally not there. People just disappeared. It was like a Stephen King novel. Like, what happened to all the Mexicans? Shh. Like, it was crazy how they just quietly disappeared. Now, allegedly, Obama was the deporter in chief, and it didn't feel like it. But they kept calling him that, and nobody protested Obama.
This is scheduled to happen.
Hold on a second.
Scheduled to happen. They voted on an actual
Christine and Mandela, please just hold on a second.
It really was like the Thanos snap. No bull. No bull. It really was like the Thanos snap. Just warehouses, restaurants, factories. They all got a little bit light on employment. And now the protests are kind of trying to spread across the country.
Understand that some New Yorkers may be angry, afraid, and ready to express that. New York City will always be a place to peacefully protest, but we will not allow violence and lawlessness. The escalation of protests in Los Angeles over the last couple of days is unacceptable and will not be tolerated if attempted in our city.
We have no tolerance for violence, none. We have no tolerance for property damage. We have no tolerance for people blocking entrances to.
New York got hit hard during the summer of Floyd. I remember getting trapped in one of those little protests once. Yeah, I think maybe twice. I was driving somewhere or another, and it was all around the downtown Brooklyn area. And lucky, like the daytime, like they say on the news, the daytime stuff is always chill. And then at night, they do a lot of like property damage. And thankfully, most of that property damage was in like Manhattan. But they went into like the most expensive region in the country. Like only like Rodeo Drive maybe is more expensive than downtown Manhattan, right? And they go to a lot of these different stores and flagship stores for large, big brands, and they just start wrecking the place. And New York took a lot of damage, financial, prestige, reputation, whatever. New York took a big hit during the summer of Floyd, and they are not trying to go back.
The buildings or blocking driveways or blocking cars from moving. And any attacks against law enforcement will be met with a swift and decisive response from the NYPD. We are responsible for public safety and maintaining order in this city, and we will never abdicate that responsibility.
Understand that some New Yorkers may be angry.
Now, the other thing is New York is going through an election right now. Got some candidates for mayor running up against Eric Adams.
Sanctuary city laws, and I have refused to do this. My mission is and will be when I am mayor is to protect the immigrants of the city of New York. New York is a city made up of immigrants.
No, it's not. It's a city made of New Yorkers.
So it is our responsibility to make sure that all New Yorkers, our old New Yorkers and our newer New Yorkers, feel safe in this city. As mayor, I will not kowtow to Donald Trump. Donald Trump will know that New York will remain a sanctuary city regardless of his threats and his chaos.
That was
another woman Another black woman who thinks it's her mission in life to stand up to the white man. She wants to fight Donald Trump.
New York City Council Speaker and candidate for mayor of New York, Adrienne Adams, at last week's Democratic primary debate. The issue of immigration now taking on growing importance in that crowded primary field following President Trump's decision to mobilize active military in Los Angeles. And joining us now is Democratic candidate for New York City Mayor, Adrienne Adams. Speaker, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
We were talking about that debate, slightly chaotic with 9 people on stage, but you broke through. Let's take up the issue you were talking about right there. Mayor Karen Bass is in the position that you were talking about there as a hypothetical. She's dealing with it right now. If President Trump, and you are mayor, turns his sights on New York City and has these immigration raids that bring people out into the streets and says, I'm sending in the National Guard, I'm going to send United States Marines there, what would be your response?
Well, we've got to fight against that. This is New York. And as far as the situation in California right now, come on, it's manufactured. It is absurd to think that the National Guard, the Marines, all of this, military power is being brought in for protesters. I think not. I think this is a distraction.
The Democrats, they do this. And it's not just the Democrats. The media are the Democrats effectively, right? The media operates as the Democrats' messaging wing. And so what you wind up getting is a uniformed media message that these are protesters. These are not protesters. These are foreign national insurrectionists. Foreign nationals pledging allegiance to their foreign country, waving the flag of their foreign country, destroying American property, refusing to obey American laws, attacking American police and government officials. This is a foreign insurrection. And the Democrats are siding with foreigners in the middle of a foreign insurrection. Big time with the 5-ball says, we are a city of immigrants. By that logic, anyone can call NYC home, which means anyone can be replaced. Yeah, I think you're starting to get the big picture, man. Anyone can be replaced, And here's the thing, black folk, there's this idea that only the white people are thinking about being replaced. No. I don't want to be replaced either. I like these blacks. For better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and health, I'll take these blacks over the new blacks. I don't really trust the new blacks. I don't know anything about them. I hear terrible things about where they come from. I'm going to stick with the blacks I got.
From what's really going on in Trump land right now, and that is the big ugly bill that he doesn't want all of us to talk about. That is the real story here. Why are we manufacturing protesters and the National Guard and everything over, ICE raids, which certainly are illegal in a sanctuary city?
I assume you would have confidence in the NYPD, the greatest police force in the country, just as Mayor Bass has confidence in the LAPD to handle a protest like
1,000%. The NYPD is the best in the nation when it comes to handling law enforcement.
Now, you got a lot of different, not governors, but mayors of different cities claiming to resist any attempts, any cooperation with ICE, because you really can't resist ICE. They're not going to get into a shootout with ICE. That would be insane. Fingers crossed, though. Fingers crossed. I kind of low-key, there's like 10% of me that expects the Democrats to spark a civil war to defend foreign non-citizens.
Some of the things that other sheriffs in this state has participated in and increasing availability of manpower to execute some of these responsibilities that fall under immigrations, we are not. There has been a submittal of requests. The governor wanted to see all sheriffs participate in this one program, 287G, which was related to the inmate processing components, and we've always been in compliance with that. Then there was a pivot point to have deputies participate in 287G task force, whereas now it's the law enforcement apparatus that is out in the field and increasing the operational tempo for customs, meaning 20 deputies are assigned, let's say in Sarasota, to this particular task force. And those deputies are now basically operating under the will, or so, the partnership of immigration. I've dedicated the 2 people that's always been there. I've not increased that. We have other priorities in this community that I'm focused on, and immigration is not one of them. Not to dismiss the importance of that, but we have had case after case just a few months ago to speak about why it's important for us as law enforcement practitioners to focus on the criminal components, not administrative components when it comes to immigration. I don't care what country you're from. If you commit a crime in this country or commit a crime in this county, I'm coming for you. But what I refuse to do is take this notion that we need to be knocking on doors or arresting children or going into daycare centers or restaurants and taking and snatching people off these streets who have been paying taxes and contributing to this society in some positive form, regardless if they're a U.S. citizen or not.
I'm glad I was muted anyway. I wasn't making sense. I just figured out what I was trying to think about. I couldn't remember this guy's name, but you didn't even hear all that stumbling through anyway. Now we're going to just start fresh. You guys remember in New Jack City, Nino Brown bought all those turkeys? It doesn't matter how many turkeys Nino Brown bought. You're going to jail, Nino. And if you fight back, I'm going to shoot you in the heart. This old black guy is going to do it, matter of fact. He's been waiting to kill you this whole time. But either way, your turkeys mean nothing. And that's kind of the thing that they're trying to do. They're trying to do the Nino Brown turkey thing. Like, oh my God, these guys, they pay taxes. They have families. They're good people. Yeah. But they still got to go, bro. I know. They'll be great people in Mexico. They'll make their country great again.
It's not within our purview. It's not within our responsibility, and I won't participate in it. This is something that has alarmed this community repeatedly, and I've been crystal clear, and I have not wavered in my stance in the last 6 years, and I won't.
So anyway, ICE raids Glen Valley Foods in Omaha. Bystanders attempt to stop agents from leaving with the detainees.
You don't fucking feel that. People's identity. Hey, man, look. What the fuck? Whoa.
Oh, you guys are so lucky. You guys are lucky they're playing nice. Oh, man. No. I would have definitely gunned that thing up to at least 40 miles an hour before I slammed the brake. No, bro. You guys are being real nice. You guys are lucky, man. American police are way nicer than, like, Mexican police, man. I'm trying to tell you. And yeah, we all know that she a little thick, but she got to go too. We got enough thick Latinas here. We don't need all of them.
Hey, man, look. What the fuck? Whoa. Hey, listen down. Hit me. You fucking ran me off. What's your fucking oh, hell no. This is, oh my God. Fuck you. No. You're not taking it. You're not taking them. You're not taking the people. Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Listen, man, you're going to have to start body slamming people. You don't have to arrest every person, But if you body slam a couple of people, you don't even have to do it that many times. People start to understand the message. There is no language as efficient as violence.
Fucking nigga!
Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back.
That was a pee!
Oh, you just spit at the police? That's assault, bro. He should have shot you. He just spit at the police. That is assault, man. You're supposed to shoot him in self-defense. You were afraid for your life. He was about to give you Mexican AIDS, bro.
Fucking nigga! Fuck you guys! Fuck guys! Fuck you!
You broke this.
I'll break him more, bitch!
Which one?
I'll break him more, bitch! I'll break him more! Hell no! Fuck you!
Leave it. Leave it. He didn't do nothing. Just leave it.
Fuck you guys! Fuck you! Fucking pig! You can go back in your car, pig!
Man. You know what's really interesting? The patience of white people. And I say that because if you were to go to like a brown country, a black country, you ever notice you don't really hear about protest in black and brown countries? Like, when was the last time you heard of a protest in Jamaica? When was the last time you heard of a protest in Nigeria? Big time with the $5 super chat. He says, when Rittenhouse took care of those two people and pew-pewed the small hat's bicep off, the riot stopped. Did it now? Did it now? You know, I was just saying that violence is, in fact, the most efficient language there is. The only other language that's as efficient as violence is actually binary. That's, you know, computer code. Those are your two options as civilized modern people. It's either violence or computer code. Those are the two languages that work for us right now. And then somehow we've all kind of lost touch with the language of violence as a country, as a community.
Shit about to get hectic. Oh, nah! Oh, nah! Oh, nah! Oh, hell no! Oh, shit! Y'all throwing hands!
Look at what the Popo did to him.
I got mad that he pushed children. We're still backing up. We didn't make any contact with him. He shoved me. I had small, like, less than 100-pound girls on either side of me, little kids. And so they went to the ground. I went to the ground. I got mad that he pushed children to the ground. I jumped up and yelled in his face. And then the cop behind, he didn't even do anything. The guy that pushed me that time, the guy behind him just immediately started shooting. That's when the cops were like pressing? Yeah, they were pressing this way. They're from right now, like 20 minutes ago. We're still backing up.
Yeah, those rubber projectiles they fire ain't no joke, man. Who wrote Sapiens? Why does that book sound familiar? I know it was written by one of these pseudo intellectuals that be on TV sometimes. Karma says, so I've been reading Sapiens. In Hood today, I was reading a part where dude was describing man, woman as a construct, and I thought of you and how you might dissect it. Read as annoyingly woke. Everything is woke nowadays, Carmen. Everything is so woke. But who's that guy? What's that guy's name? Oh, here's another contestant for the Summer Jam screen. Oh yeah. Don't read his stuff, Carmen. You should be reading cookbooks and old antique editions of Better Home and Garden, Carmen. What are you reading stuff from Yuval Noah Harari? Ew.
Hey, you get the bag and fumble it, I get the bag and flip it and tumble it. Straight off the lot, 300 cash, and the car came with a blunt in it.
Gotta be careful where you get your material, Carmen. Don't trust everything. I'm pretty sure he's one of those guys that want to take over the world and replace us. He's gonna be one of those what do you call it? Skynet. He's one of the Skynet guys. Yeah. Skynet bagels. Look into it. Skynet bagels. Yeah, that's he loves to eat there.
I'm raising my child. I'm stepping to the curb with a sign, do not disturb. Too much, don't give a fuck for a damn thing. But
the person that posted this video, they said Compton, California. Compton's Chicano street gang leaders put out a clip on social media declaring their area of Compton a riot-free zone. According to multiple experts, they said, without exception, violators will be executed on the spot. Shout out to the Compton Chicanos. They are not letting it happen in their neighborhood. Handful of them is most likely illegal too, but you're going to have to get them the hard way. I respect it. They're not showing up to the protest. You're going to have to track them down and snatch them off the street. Apparently, if you want to keep your neighborhood riot-free in Los Angeles, you need to holler at the cartels and associated people. Let's go back to that Omaha ice raid. Look at all the fish they caught.
Hey, who's the scissor lift operator? Yes.
Look at all the fish I caught today. I went out immigrant fishing, caught like 5 Mexicans, a Chilean, caught a Chinaman too. It's crazy. Didn't know what to do with him.
That's it.
You know what? I feel like they have some kind of... They're not going to raid an Amazon warehouse. I feel like there's a special protective bubble around the Amazon warehouse. Either their paperwork is really legit or you're just not going to do that type of thing and keep your job. Nobody really cares about a meat processing plant. Nobody cares about a chicken factory or whatever. But an Amazon warehouse? Oh, no. You're cutting into too much commerce, bro. Now, we were talking about black people yesterday not rioting and all that. And you know what? I didn't even like drop a link and none of that stuff. And I think I'm going to open up the panel. I want to say this one time. Try to keep your language in check. We can only get away with so many F-bombs and whatnot. And I think I done used up most of my F-bomb credits today. But I'm going to put the link in the chat.
People, this ain't got shit to do with us. I disagree. Piece of evidence number one. Alabama could send inmates to foreign prisons under proposed bill. They say our prisons are too soft. This is from May of this year, 2025. Read it with me. A proposed bill, HB 618, would allow Alabama to send people incarcerated in the state to foreign prisons. This bill would authorize the commissioner of the Department of Corrections to enter into contracts with foreign nations to confine Alabama inmates to a penal institution or correctional facility. Orange Man is already...
Now, you guys remember him. We did a whole show about this guy and the other guys. We talked about him at length the other day. Him and FD Signifier and the eggs guy. You remember these guys?
That nigga gay.
Already accidentally detaining American citizens, but he says he would love to send the homegrown criminals next to foreign prisons. I just sold you a piece of policy that's being introduced in Alabama that does what? Okay. Like Z said on Twitter, you really think the government that enslaved your ancestors for 400 years, they erase your political prisoners, so they throw no crack into your communities, and you think they above sending your black ass to El Salvador prison? To the people.
All right, theoretically, let's say that was absolutely true. What were you going to do about it? How do you propose to stop it? Are you going to join the Mexican insurrection? Are you going to join La Raza? How do you propose to stop it? See, me, I have this theory that if I stay out of jail, I won't wind up in an El Salvadoran prison. I know it's just a theory. I haven't like tried to apply this to the real world. I haven't, really battle tested the theory yet, but it's a working theory. I don't know what his plan is, though.
People in the back, they are lying to you, claiming that what's happening with ICE is not black people's business. First, ICE targets black people too. Also, history should tell you anytime masked and unmasked jump out boys are snatching folks off the street, it's 100% black people's business. Folks on this side, even if you think you're undeportable, when Trump is talking about overturning birthright citizenship, I should remind you, they was not denying your ancestors citizenship to deport them. They were doing it to deny dehumanizing them and captivating them. I mean, put them in captivity. I'm so annoyed I can't even talk right now. I said I can't pronounce words, but
That's a great point, Dirty folks. Sending prisoners to other countries counts as exports. It's like a work exchange programs. You make big rocks and the little rocks in America. All right, now let's go to China. See how good you are at crushing those rocks. How much is he getting paid for these TikToks? Hey, you know what? By the way, shout out to my girl, Georgia. Thank you so much for your $10 Venmo donation. I appreciate you. Be like Georgia, y'all. Smash that super chat / Venmo button.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! Yeah! You make Hulk angry. You not like Hulk angry. Hulk no like fighting girls.
But it's true. ICE agents aren't allowed to detain anyone they want. So the fact they are accidentally detaining U.S. citizens means they are breaking the law. Listen, you don't have to put yourself on the front lines. You don't have to go out to the streets to not champion mass deportation politics. You do not have to sacrifice yourself to say, hey, what they're doing right here is bad, and I'm not going to be rooting it on. As a matter of fact, Justice Scott made a beautiful video about creating counter narratives that I think you can check out. It doesn't involve nothing about putting yourself in harm's way and all about creating counter narratives with the same device y'all be hating on, these old phones. And coming to a conclusion, conservatives won when they cooked up that xenophobic crack. It's moving in my community like blue magic. I'm talking about it got way too many folks geeked too. It's manufactured destruction just like real crack.
Conservatives cooking up that crack? Not conservative crack. You know the ironic thing about conservative crack? It will actually help you get your life together. Unlike regular crack, conservative crack will raise your credit score.
Emboldening ICE and increasing the police apparatus is definitely going to have an impact on black people.
I don't know why everybody in the all the activist types, and that includes Hollywood, all these people, they really think black folk are supposed to be supporting this wave.
The same oppressor that exploits the African abuses the Latino. And please believe if they could figure out how to deport niggas, they've been trying since the Emancipation Proclamation.
This nigga look about 35% Latino anyway. I don't really trust him. I feel like those are his Latino roots speaking.
The same oppressor that exploits the African abuses the Latino. And please believe if they could figure out how to deport niggas, they've been trying since the Emancipation Proclamation. The same enemy has used these same methods to divide, devalue, and destroy. Common enemy, common goal. The same corporations that run the ICE detention centers run the state and federal prisons, where our people are doing slave labor for 13 cents an hour. Those same corporations abduct and hold Palestinians in Israel. And not only are the same riot police deployed against blacks and Latinos, they receive training, information, and technology from the IOF. Historically, we were snatched from the shores of Africa and brought to Central and South America. Don't be fooled into believing this struggle is not ours. They come for you in the night, they'll come for me in the morning. So shit, inshallah, the Latinos.
He just said, inshallah, the Latinos. Oh, it's a bad link. No wonder y'all niggas not coming up here. Let me, my apologies. I thought I did that right. Copy, paste. Okay. My apologies, y'all. Hopefully this is a better link. I don't know what just happened there. Wait. No, that's the exact same link. Why is it not posting? Why is it not posting the right link? That's crazy. You know what? Give me 1 second. Let me reboot this thing. This is weird. All right, we're back. I don't know why that link was not posting properly, but let me try it again. All right, yeah, there you go. That's the right link. I don't know why when I actually click the button in the studio. And David, you're going to stop running your mouth about whatever you've seen back there, all right? Whatever happened off the screen stays off the screen, all right? Stop telling anybody, blabbermouth. Can't have nothing around niggas, I swear, man.
I clicked on that link. Shawty was like, "Where's Hood at? Oh, minute 22. Where's the money?"
Hold on, I'm about to pull up a clip real quick. Hold on a second.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. Mayor Bass, thanks so much for taking the time. President Trump says that if he didn't send in the troops, your city would be burning to the ground right now. His words. There were arrests for violence, like throwing a Molotov cocktail at police officers. Did LA authorities have the situation under control?
Yes, and I will tell you something. He sent out a message Saturday night saying that the reason why the protests and the vandalism was quelled was because of the brilliant work of the National Guard. The National Guard was not even in Los Angeles. They had not even been deployed at that time. As your guests previously said, and I so appreciated their comments, the National Guard has one mission, and that is to protect a building. And that has nothing to do with the protests that you're seeing in the streets. So that's 100 soldiers. What are another 1,000 going to do protecting one building? And then he's going to send in the Marines to do what? I don't know what these people are going to do. As your previous guest said, these are several isolated streets in downtown Los Angeles. It is not even all of downtown Los Angeles. So
you know, during the Floyd protest, because that's really the only thing to compare it to, but during the Floyd protest, I remember they really didn't even reinforce like federal buildings and stuff like that. They really didn't police the protesters the way they're doing right now. This whole thing is like really trying to stop this from going full Summer of Floyd.
Or the 1965 Watts riots.
I don't even think it'll be that bad, but they're definitely trying to keep a lid on it.
Bro, did you see all the destruction? You probably didn't see my stream last night, bro. They didn't destroy half of downtown, but majority of like South Central going towards Compton and all that good stuff. Nah, bro, no.
Yeah, I really didn't get a look at it. I went to sleep. I had to go to bed, so I didn't really see much of what you did.
But no, they did. They've been messing ish up. And word has it, they supposed to be doing some riding here in the city of Chicago in support of LA. I'm just waiting to see the first rock throw.
Well, that's what they said. You know, it's supposed to go national.
We just waiting for the bat signal. Well, I'm sorry. Them hooligans is waiting for the bat signal.
I mean, it's gonna happen one way or another because like they got their own networks and their own little communist cells and stuff that they communicate amongst each other with. So whatever's coming next, it's gonna happen.
I've been told you, like when Trump was first got elected, I said, you know, it's all good. You're gonna be able to get 10s and 20s, but once you start trying to go get 1,000s, man, you're gonna touch, you know. You're going to touch one of these Latin disciples, goddammit, grandma, some shit.
Well, I mean, even that, like, what seems to have happened is they were doing a lot of targeted snatching people up things or whatever. And then in LA, I think in California is kind of built for this sort of thing. You see what that little fat Mexican lady said? She's been protesting her whole life. And so California is the kind of place where if you're gonna really get it off, it'll happen there. And so they just picked the spot, and then it's like, you know, this is where we'll do battle. And so now they finally able to like freeze Trump in place. At least that's what they thought they would do. They would freeze him in place and have him deal with this battle, and then maybe spark some other immigration battles all over the country, and then that will like slow down the whole immigration thing. Like that's the idea, I think.
Well, they said it's all through LA. You know, I've been on the interwebs and shit. They said a CEO of the construction site, you know, the owner who's getting the building built, he called ICE to his own building. And what they saying is that he didn't want to pay. He didn't want to pay the labor some shit. So
hey,
now
man, it's cold world. Yeah. Game is game, bro. Game is game.
So now they said they finna go. You know, when the mob find out who the trick, you know, they gonna try to do some shit. But we'll see. You know,
we'll see.
Behind there, I can still see you. What are you doing? Hide behind.
Hey, that black SUV ain't got the plate. I'm coming to your house at 5 in the morning. Hey, throw something else, I dare you. Throw something else, I dare you. Do it again. Do it again. Let's go.
They do it again. Hey,
Yo,
Hood.
I ain't never been trolled from a helicopter before. That's wild.
Hey, Hood. Did you ever get a chance to break down the so-called black and brown relationship or lack thereof in the city of LA? Did you?
Well, I didn't really get deep into it because I'm not like a resident. There's only so deep I can go, but I know of it, and I talked about it somewhat yesterday when we did the stream. And I actually played a clip from somebody, I forget his name, but he did he was doing like testimony in Congress about the fire bombings and the racial attacks, forcing people out of the neighborhoods and whatnot. And so, I mean, it's a known thing. It's not really a secret. And it's weird. It's probably more intense on the West Coast, but generally speaking, there isn't a lot of like camaraderie between the blacks and the Latinos, right? It's not like a running beef. Nobody's, fighting each other every single day. That's the West Coast thing, I think.
But Hood, no, it's not just a West Coast thing here in Chicago too, but they want to gaslight us, saying that there's a black and brown coalition amongst the two races. But I mean, I still have not seen it. They try to portray it in the media, movies. Hell, I just seen a video of one of the so-called protesters. I guess he's illegal or something. Called a black LAPD officer the N-word.
Oh yeah, I got that clip. We're gonna pull that up.
You know what? There is a coalition. I had to think long and hard about this. Hear me out. The most effective coalition that I understand is when I used to go in and price out drywalls and price out my carpentry. They would always tell me, well, why would I pay that when I can go over and get Jorge and such to do it for way cheaper? That's the effect of the alliance. And once they do that, I feel like black carpenters is going to make a lot of money.
Like, I don't think that's I think you kind of read that one wrong.
Yeah, he did.
Unless they get all the illegals out, then the black carpenters going to make some money. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, because all I kept hearing, from the ladies is well, if you ain't gonna do it, this dude is with Jorge do it for way cheap. Why would I pay you? And I'm like,
Dave, if they take it away from the Jorge, they're gonna give it to White George. Black George will not get that damn job.
Yeah.
Yo, I was just getting ready to say that, bro.
Right.
It ain't about who do it cheaper. It's about you not having it because you allegedly don't do good work. That's what it's about. It ain't about.
You know what? I think the like blue collar job thing is complicated, or not even complicated. That's not how I want to say it, but there's an element to the conversation that gets left out. Internally, black culture has broken from its blue collar roots.
Oh yeah, we did that since the hey, bro. Can we say the boomers did that?
I mean, somebody did it. You can blame who you like. I don't know who I want to put the blame on yet, but I'm just saying. Like, I remember being a little kid in the projects, and it was this dude who was like, he was older than me. He was one of the homies or whatever. But I was little anyway, so they was all older than me. Everybody was grown. I'm little, but he was getting his car fixed, and it was this Spanish father and son. Really, it was a step pops because we know everybody, so we know we know their family or whatever. But it was like this step pops, Miguel and Mario, I think. And anyway, we watching the father and son work on his car. We like standing in the parking lot and they, doing whatever. And this nigga Pillow says to me, I wish my pops had taught me how to do that type of stuff. And I think there is a kind of not systemic, but like it's just a community-wide issue like that, where that sort of little blue-collar knowledge, because we don't really have like a culture of men in the community like we used to, we don't really have that base of men that do men things like that anymore. Whereas like when you go to the Latino community, it's not that difficult to probably wrangle up 6 or 8 guys for some kind of work crew.
So wait, so are you equating that to that's why black people don't trust other blacks to do blue collar work? Is that what,
because we don't have dads?
And so, okay, and so basically you're saying because of that, blacks don't trust blacks to do blue collar work, and they trust whites. And Hispanic.
You own it.
Your father is your entry into the world of men and men's work, and we are seriously lacking fathers.
Which
and
is
so
true.
we don't really get the entry into the world of men and men's work.
Hey, which
so
is
like
true,
these
though.
these YNs right now, they'll never be fit for labor.
So Hood, you do know that.
Hold on. Hold on. So sorry, real quick. So basically, Hood, what you're saying is no one trusts the black male to do the work because they don't have fathers.
Yes. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying. Hold on. Yes, I agree. Like in the broadest sense, but let me kind of fill it out because you're kind of brushing
I
over
ran
things.
across it so much. Go ahead.
Let me say it like this, right? Yeah, people don't trust the blacks for a lot of reasons, but I'm saying underneath all of those myriad of reasons why people don't trust the blacks, at the heart of it is blacks can't trust each other, and at the heart of that is the lack of family dynamic, meaning the father being missing is a crucial piece of development. And so, especially when it comes to men and male culture, we are stunted in terms of like embracing and developing in the world of male culture. So that's why you don't see a lot of like you know how hard it is to go around like your average hood and get 6 to 8 guys who can actually build something together.
That's fucking impossible. I know it for a fact.
It's not impossible.
I won't say impossible because there's gonna be a lot of old niggas that you gotta rely on.
Dirty and Dave, do not say.
I can get. I used to get. Man, you get you 3 good ones, boy. You better pay them right.
Like I said, they're gonna be old niggas, but the chain
I'm
is
talking about
broken.
young dudes. At most, you can get a crew of 2 or 3.
Either way, I think we can all agree that it's a minimal at best.
Yeah. It's minimal.
All right, so check this out. So y'all do know in the olden days, you know what I'm saying, when masculinity was top shelf and niggas actually ran shit. Shut up, Dirty. Let me speak. Let me cook. Look, man,
no aggressive grumbling.
So your last name is giving you all the seed of your father, and your last name is basically telling you what your profession was going to be back in the day. See, you the seed of your father, you're known by your father's name, so you was going to be a smith, so you're going to be a blacksmith. Your father's going to train you in a blacksmith profession. You was going to be a well-skilled blacksmith without no apprenticeship, without any other circle jerking fraternity. You gotta pay your dues type of no. You gotta own your own skill. And you might be the only person. I was about to curse. Sorry about that. The only person in that town with that set of skills. So you will be the man. So ergo, fast forward into modernity. You have Negroes and even white dudes, you know what I'm saying? We got to throw Brad and Chad in there. They ain't really building nothing no more. I mean, they conquered everything, but they ain't really building ish no more. So these
screw in a couple of screws and then shoot some meth in.
Yo, so check this out. So unfortunately, I gotta go a generation ahead. I gotta go with the civil rights generation because them dudes weren't working. They was too busy going sending the counters and throwing up signs somehow we gonna overcome and all that good stuff. And the white dudes throwing rocks on them or sitting right next to them and all that other bull crap. So these men lost their balls, lost their profession. So they all want to be white collar workers because that's where the money is at. They only going where the money is at, not where the skill is at.
No, prestige. Where the prestige is at. But continue.
So the actual skills that we need in this country right now, because typing away in a little cubicle is not building this nation. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to computerize everything. Y'all want the technological advance of society of 2040. You know, with flying cars and all this other stuff, with people in a population with IQ is not even 100. You need people in a society of 120 to live in that type of world. Unfortunately, we don't. So these people, these men that we call boomers, civil rights generation, all that good stuff, they traded in their masculinity, their skills through their sons, Gen X and millennials under the bus. They want to teach them skills. You know what I'm saying? Some of us had to go and learn on our own. and we mess things up, nigger rigging, crackhead rigging, and stuff like. You see the alley mechanics in the back of the alleys. You know,
I miss alley mechanics. But yeah.
Do you want to, Mr. O?
Yeah.
Do you want to know something funny?
Go
I'm
ahead.
in the trades, right? And people, here's the funny thing: people that are telling me they're using AI to do most of their job, they're like, AI is going to take over your job.
It ain't taking over construction.
You know what's
right, right? But it's funny because
physical labor.
But it's funny because they're telling me they're using AI to do most of their job, and they don't even see the irony in that.
That's the weirdest part, American man.
No, you know the weirdest thing, and I'm gonna piggyback because Mr. O, he was weak in the beginning, but he ended strong. I'm gonna roll with that. You know the weirdest thing about that, bro, is that it's really it used to be a time in which you pass down your craft, right? Yeah. That link broke with the boomers. Like I grew up with a dad, and all my friends had dads, right?
I want to say the silent generation.
No. I didn't forget. I didn't forget. Okay. I'm telling you, it's a reason that Gen X and older millennials are called the latchkey generation. Yeah. It's not that your dad wasn't there. Yeah. It's the fact that your mom got to choose her own man, and they always want a man weaker than them.
I'm gonna say one little thing. I was in an after school program at one point in my life, in my childhood, and we were literally called the Latchkey Kids. That's what they named the group.
Right, because and that's all races too.
Hell no, they put hood in detention and call
no, bro. You dead ass. All this we need after school programs and we need mentors to step up is really because the boomers were horrible parents. My great grandfather drove for a living. He drove cabs. My grandfather was one of the first union truck drivers. My grandfather got my dad driving trucks. I had to steal my parents' car at night to learn how to teach myself how to drive. The only thing your nigga ass know how to do is drive, and you ain't teach your son. My friend across the street, dad was a mechanic. His dad was a mechanic. My nigga had to rob fucking fast food joints. He can't even fix, well, he do basic, but he don't know how to fix a car. His dad had a horse in the backyard, dropping engines in the backyard, and then teach his son nothing. There is a hatred of black men that came from boomers. And the craziest thing, I'm gonna just say this real quick. The craziest thing is I've heard my father say, I don't want nigger business, but I'm like, you're a nigger. Like, right. The amount of black men that I know that do the work. And my dad, I tried to do a property management with my dad, and my dad would try to fire my crew because I had a crew of childhood friends who were scared to bring in white boys, and the white boys' whole team was heroin addict niggas. I said, bro, you are out your mind, undercutting everything.
You sure that one of them has small hat?
Bro, I watched my female neighbor, and this I'm co-signing you on this. My female neighbor, I had been cutting her grass since I was a small child because my dad was like, you know, you want the whole neighborhood to look nice, cut the girl next door. Man, set me up, man. Free labor, right? I said,
he set you up. He set you out.
Man, like a pimp. Look, so I tell Shorty, I say, look. But I ain't really care because y'all wasn't that big, and it was connected to mine. So he was like, "Yo, cut the connecting thing. Don't." Because I was like doing half the. You know how Chicago is. How your grass is connected to 2 different yards, and I would just cut my half. He was like, "Man, cut the whole thing, make it look neat." I'm
right,
like,
just go ahead down the straight line, catch stairs on the turnaround.
Right, catch it. Right. So I tell her, I say, "Well, look, I'm about to bounce out of town, but I got these shorties. They'll cut your grass, man, for $5 a week. They just need some money." She said, "I ain't gonna pay for it. I'll get some Mexicans." I said, "Hold on, I've been cutting your grass for free since I was a teenager. Since I was not even teen, like 11 years old. Nigga, now I'm 22. I'm like, yo, shorty, let the shorties take it. Oh, I get some Mexicans." Right. The hatred of black men. Here's the thing.
I mean, everybody's. Wait, hold on. Let me jump in there, Dirty. Let me jump in there. You got to pass the mic. Hold on. We got to pass the mic. I wanted to say this. I wanted to say one quick thing. This whole thing that you were talking about, that we were just kind of talking about, it reminds me of the W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington debate about which way, whatever his gay name is. It reminds me of their debate in terms of like what's the better path for black people. And I think what doesn't really get talked about was the Booker T. Washington path was just the obviously more masculine centered path, whereas like the Du Bois thing, going into the politics and all that office life stuff is inherently feminine just by its nature, right? And so I think that has its own like effects as well. But anyway, we got other people on the panel. Bumpkin, what's going on, bro? You still here?
Just jump in
Is
real
that
quick.
JD
Real
Vance?
quick,
What are
real
you
quick,
saying?
Hood.
Man,
Real
we
quick.
gotta hear from
You
JD.
remember?
That's crazy.
You
Call
remember,
fucking
Hood?
JD Vance. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Dirty is right. Real quick,
call
real
me
quick,
fucking
Bumpy. I'm
JD.
sorry. I'm sorry. Let me just jump in real quick. Hood, remember when we were over there with BGS, the second, not the original, right? Do you remember when we were talking about the boy crisis and what was it that BGS came up and said? He said, "Man,
I know he said something crazy.
F black men."
Yeah, man.
You remember what he said?
Yeah.
And so Dirty is right. That is the feeling of the
And he a
boomer.
boomer too, right? BGS a boomer.
Yes.
I guess
Yes.
so. And you see, this is why I just, I don't engage in certain things anymore. I just, there's no value there.
We see that.
Well, no. I agree, but I was just sort of bringing that up to say, like, Dirty is right.
No, you're right.
Is that they have
Bro.
a hatred of black men
Of
for
black-
some reason.
Bro, I have been fighting black boomers.
Well, hold on. I don't want to
whole
step
life.
on I don't want to step on the mic
Yeah,
because I was trying to pass it up.
Bucket, rock out.
You need to
Here
know
comes
what's gonna
JD
happen
Vance.
in
That's
administration.
crazy.
You know.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
JD Vance, how'd that happen? Well, that's a story for another time. But anyway,
That's crazy work. He
Because
don't even
I look.
Bumpkin,
I
please
look
come
like
before all
JD
the blacks start talking.
Yeah, I look like JD Vance. Sorry, I'm actually
white
driving
people.
to work right now. Unlike other people on the panel, white man's all.
Wow.
Oh, shut up! I wake up earlier than most white people, and I go to work. Don't white card me now.
Bunky shooting. Go ahead, Bunky.
Is he driving and shooting too? That's very black of you.
Hey, I know. Well, he a sheriff. That's really white of him. But
we need to.
Yeah, your audio is shit. Man. Do you live in the sticks or something? Are you driving through the swamp right now?
Yeah, call right back in.
Yeah, drop down, Bumpkin, come right back up.
Bunkin talking on Bluetooth through the car, driving with one hand, shooting possums with the other hand. Bunkin is doing his thing right now.
Call back when you hit a neighborhood with more than 3 white people in it, because you are just in the middle of nowhere. It's like cows and
man.
shit. I can
You
tell
gotta
you're
get at least
driving
one
around
bar.
farm country.
1 bar. Try to get 1 bar.
Calling on a CB is wild. That's crazy work, but it sounds accurate. I'll allow it.
The CB
That's
ain't
what he
got
should
Wi-Fi
do. If he called me on a TV, it would have a better signal than this bullshit.
Nah, the CB should have Wi-Fi on it. They upgraded.
Yeah. Hey, get a
This
next.
guy- oh, that's dope.
So like a Nextel phone, that's crazy work. All right, Nextel came up. All right.
Oh yeah, because
Nextel.
Nextel was basically a CB. They just didn't have like an open network like CBs would have, like open channels. But anyway, Bumpkin, come back when you got a little bit. When you see tall buildings and shit. We got who Dominicoon. I feel like I haven't spoken to Dominicoon in a while. What's going on, man? You there still? Calling Dominicoon.
Yeah, I'm here. I was, staying patient, letting everybody talk. The first thing I'm gonna say is this, man. We need to deport all those motherfuckers in LA waving fucking Mexican flags. The only flag I want to see being waved is an American flag. If you can't come to this country, right, and then benefit from
a little clean, please.
What was that?
I said, try to keep the language clean, please. I want to keep this up as long as possible.
The new channel, my bad. So yeah,
thank you.
How do you come to this country, right, and expect us Americans, right, to pay taxes, to provide benefits for you, and you don't have the decency to wave the American flag? Like, what the fuck is that? I mean, what the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? And mind you, I'm Hispanic. I'm Hispanic myself. I'm Hispanic myself, bro. And I would not allow anybody in my family to come out here and talk about, Dominican Republic first. Nah, hell no. If you're here for a purpose.
It's so funny. I think Puerto Rican Day was just like yesterday because I was in the city the other day and I'm like, damn, there's a lot of Puerto Rican flags on the train. I swear that's the only reason I even think it might have been Puerto Rican Day. I'm not sure, but I swear it had to be Puerto Rican Day in the city the other day. And that's like the only time you really even see like a bunch of Puerto Rican flags out all over the place. And it's not even like a, well, honestly, Puerto Rico is technically America, so they don't even matter.
They're American.
This flag is effectively a state flag. Like, it don't even mean that.
How many Puerto Ricans you know speak Spanish, huh? You from Brooklyn, bro. I'm from the Bronx.
That's the thing. A good half of them don't.
That's what I'm saying.
No, you know what I love about Puerto Ricans, bro? This is what I love about Puerto Ricans, and this is what I hate about colors. Just because you black don't mean you American, right? I don't even like them Nigerians. They all scammers and all that. Call a Puerto Rican a Mexican, man. They gonna tear the roof up.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, call a Mexican a Guatemalan. Call a Mexican a Guatemalan. The same thing gonna happen.
Call a Chinaman a Jap and see what happens.
Yeah.
Call a Dominican a Puerto Rican. It's all the same thing.
It's different. It's different because China and Japan got blood beef, but Latino nationalities, they just dislike one another for some reason. I don't know why. It's not like y'all fought a bunch of wars against each other.
Nah, I think it's a soccer competition. Every Hispanic country think they better than the other.
It's right. It's like national chauvinism.
But this is the crazy thing about that. The same dislike that Mexicans and Puerto Ricans share, or that Japanese and Koreans share, like we're both Asian, but I don't like you. It's a one-sided fight with Black Americans and Africans, because Africans don't deal with American blacks. They don't even like you.
But also, here's the thing, right? Call an American black a Haitian and see what happens.
Nothing gonna happen, because nobody look.
I mean, yes and no. There is a sentiment there, though.
Yeah, I don't think no, like.
No, call it Jamaican a Haitian.
I remember being young and stuff like African booty scratcher was like a slur or whatever.
Hey, have y'all ever sat and thought?
Call it Jamaican a Haitian. It's going.
I think the Haitians had the worst 1 year span on the planet Earth. You got to remember, it started off with Trump saying dogs and cats.
No, it started off with them eating dogs and cats.
Okay,
right?
So now they're on the travel ban and deport list.
I've spent my entire life avoiding dating Haitian women, bro.
Bro, the leader of the Haitian gang's name is Barbecue, and it's not because he likes to do Kansas City style, bro. My man was eating humans.
No, you know what's crazy about that, bro? Barbecue is actually a cop. So their gang leader is a cop. Is he from Chicago? That's crazy.
Man, it sounds like it, man.
Hey,
you know, there's a white guy on X on Twitter I follow, Lord Rothschild. He was like captured by the Taliban, low key. I think he was really just chilling. He's like one of these he's like literally the most interesting man in the world, right? And he is like, he's joking, half joking, but he said, listen, all the white adventure bros got to get together. We're going to take Haiti. A couple hundred white guys, they can take Haiti, no problem.
I want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Shit, wait till they see that machete chop, boy. They going to be like, whoa.
Red Illusion said he signed up for it, see? All the right-wing white guys, they know what I'm talking about. They're gonna take Haiti one of these days, and I'm not gonna say a word.
Hey, Red Illusion, man, give me an application, bro. I've been trying to join the clan for a minute. Nobody like initiate me. I think it's like the Mason. Somebody gonna bring you in. I've been trying to be a Klansman for a minute, man. I want to be that one dude at the barbecue looking at y'all crazy while they burning other dudes on the cross. I want that to be me for our generation.
Man, let me find out. You want to be the right-hand man to the Grand Wizard and shit.
Bro, I swear to God I do, bro. Because I know they'll treat me better than my black sisters and black cousins do. I bet you they do.
Oh, my God. Damn, man. Oh, man.
Yo,
it's funny, though.
I'm not going to say it dirty because I feel like you guys think I always attack you, so I'm just going to be quiet. but there's so much I can say right there.
Bro. I look, man.
Hell no, they did a Rocky Apollo.
hey, yeah.
Yo, haven't I been making this argument for a long time? Because like if you really go back, and we were talking about blood and soil and stuff yesterday, but if you really go back, whose blood is really in the soil of America?
There's only two people, bro. That's
what I'm trying to tell you.
Yo,
Hey,
that's why I keep making.
Hey, where they get this picture from? Did they get this from Predator with Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yo, Hood,
That's why he passed away recently, I think.
Yo, that's why I keep making the argument. I don't get why black people keep trying to refer to themselves as African American. You're othering yourself. You're American. All those people,
hey, Dirty,
all those people. All those
bro.
people that came off the boat, whether you a slave or slave master, from then on, none of those people is known as the Americans that came from Christopher
Hey, I'm
Columbus.
African American, so we all get to vote.
Like
we
none of
all
those
vote
people are known as
for a
that.
new name, whatever that new name is. I'm right.
Black people in
I'm
America,
not with the logo, but I'm with you.
only black people in America.
One at a time.
labeled
Hey,
with
hold
other.
on. One at a time. American man, please. You were saying something.
Yeah, only black people in America are labeled with the others. No one else is labeled with the others.
Even better than that, bro.
I
Even better
don't
than that.
understand why black people do that to themselves.
No, because he's actually on the payroll.
Yeah, I can explain. Go ahead, Dirty folks.
Yeah, here's the crazy
I can
thing.
explain as well, but I'm just saying.
I mean,
it's
every 20
retarded.
years they
The
rebrand,
average
right?
black person should know better.
No, I'm
That's all
supporting Dave. I'm supporting what Dave said. Dave said he gonna go with whatever rebrand they give. So y'all gotta help me rebrand slavery, because Dave gonna be a slave, but we gonna make it sound really like cool. Yeah, but you're not gonna call it slavery though, because you're gonna go with any brand, anything they call it.
Whatever this name is, everybody got to vote on it. Whatever the majority.
Nobody voted on being
I
African
think you're
American.
shooting too high, though. Maybe that's the problem with the rebrand. We're selling the wrong product in the wrong market. Right now, the thing that needs to be sold is this image on the screen. And so, like, what American Man is asking, like, what happened? And the thing is, we've been kind of given the Marxist version, the Howard Zinn Marxism version of Black American history. And that's not to say that, there wasn't a Rosewood or there wasn't a Tulsa, but what if I told you that the first rounds fired in Tulsa came from black people? What if I were to tell you that not every black person just got their ass whipped and took it like a man? What if I were to tell you that I come from killers and gangsters and none of my people were going to let no white man do nothing to them without getting some blood on the floor? And so this whole era of we just been victims our whole lives, I reject that black history, bro. No, I don't come from victims.
And what if I told you, Hood, they were all still considered American?
Hey, Hood. Hey, real quick. I appreciate you letting me up. So look, I fuck with Op Nation. So on the panel about this past week, he went through reading a list of all the lynches that happened between the years of 1890 and like 1907.
All the lynchings. Was it color restricted or all the lynchings?
Man, it went from the white on black to the black on black. And at one point, there was only one point when I was like, oh wow, these white people might be doing a little too much. But most times this is what it was for. Most times it was for killing a sheriff. Other times it was for molesting a white girl. Other times it was for raping 3 other people. Other times it was just multiple things. And then another thing that tripped me out.
A lot of niggas deserved
No. And look, and there was, it was white. There was like white on white, white on black, but then there was a lot of black on black. And another thing that tripped me out is
the thing
that
about lynching, bro, that was just the punishment of the time. Lynching wasn't
I know because
they made it up just for niggas.
You think of lynching, you think somebody hanging on a tree. No, lynching just means mob. It just means killed by the mob justice.
Yeah.
So it'll be they'll throw them in a burning building.
There isn't any wrong way to lynch, right?
Hey, but look, a couple ways. This was what really tripped me out because the black people, for the most part, the black people lynching the other black people, it was for the same thing. The white people were lynching them for. It's like people, and I'm talking about these people will show up to the jail 500 deep. And then the sheriff is still trying to hold order. So a couple times he would get shot. But one thing that tripped me out that the black people would lynch other black people for was for voting Democrat.
Yes.
They would find out that he voted Democrat and they would show up and they would lynch him.
Bro,
well, because the Democrats was the slave owners at that time when that was happening. So it's
So
like,
does that
yo,
mean that
they're
they're
running with the odds.
they're asking for the white people to come back?
Right. That is absolutely. You got a point. You know what's crazy? No, you know what's crazy about that, bro. And I'm not gonna get into the lynching part because a lot of it was either economic because they didn't want you to have a black business, but most because girls. Most lynches because something happened to a girl, and I don't condone that. But the crazy thing, going back to what Hood said, and I said this before on shows, the silent generation, except for the ones that was marching, most men didn't march. Most men didn't want civil rights because they were gangsters. They were shooting at white people that can't get. It was the get off my porch generation, stay off my lawn generation. That's right. Just stay off my lawn. Don't come here. Right. We saw that video. I think Hood played the video the other day with a rancher that was telling the marshals, like, yo, if you ain't got no warrant, we gonna air it out. That's a stay off my lawn energy. And that's American, right? Yeah. Now you have a bunch of, my dad being one of them. My dad being a boomer, but he grew up. Right, he grew up. See, think about it. Boomers were born in 1940. The civil rights started in 1950. They were not the civil rights generation. They just grew up in it. So their image of being strong was getting beat up and bit by dogs. If you got bit by dogs and went to jail, you won the fight morally. I don't care about moral wins, Pop. They trying to take my Jordans. I'm swinging.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? So you have that.
Those are two different mindsets, right?
Right. So you have. I got to go to Granddad. Like, Granddad got 120 guns in the gun case. He teaching me how to shoot. Got my first black eye shooting a 22 rifle with a scope kickback, right? And then my dad, like, yo, never use a gun. But my granddad got 120 guns. So it's the dynamic.
What happened with boomers? The guys who allegedly saved the world. Because, we're kind of rethinking the whole history of World War II. But the guys who allegedly saved the world back then, they raised their children to be pussies and pacifists.
That's right.
Well, they didn't raise their kids at all. That's why you latchkey kids. But I'm with you. In theory, because go ahead.
Yo, my mother looks at me with her eyes glowing, and she's like, "I don't understand your black masculinity. I don't get it. You're a nationalist."
My mom doesn't get it either. Yeah.
Yo, you know the eyes, right? Like, they look at you, and they're like, I don't understand.
My mom will never.
My mom doesn't have that energy. She's more resistant. She's a recalcitrant. It's a different type of conversation with us. So I just have to laugh it off. Oh, you stupid. You be tripping.
Bro, my family thinks I'm the second coming.
Stupid as shit.
Yo, it's weird. She looked at me and she's like, I don't understand. Like, what do you mean you're a black nationalist? Why would you say that? I'm like, you don't get it? But you told me pro-black. Yo, that's the weird part of it all. Is that you told me pro-black. And then I'm like, yeah, black nationalism. They're like, what?
This is a problem with, like, female leadership over men. You'll give me instructions and I'll follow your instructions, and then you'll tell me I didn't do what you just told me to do.
That's why I lost respect for the Panthers. That's why I kind of halfway lost respect for Malcolm when he said the black woman is the most this man. That's why I was like, man, y'all messed it up the whole thing.
Yeah, he just triggered me, bro. That's some boomer
Malcolm,
shit. I'm triggered.
Malcolm's still alive. Malcolm would be.
He'll
retract.
Now, you know what? Here's the problem with Malcolm, right? That particular line, because I saw the ballot and the bullet speech. I've seen the whole speech, bro.
Never gonna happen, bro.
The problem with that. The problem with the ballot or the bullet speech is they take that segment. That wasn't the whole line. That's like Jay-Z saying, you made it a hot line, I made it a hot song. Mm-hmm. I'm down with presidents to represent me. But there was more lyrics to the Nas song, right? When Malcolm said least respected, least protected, it was his come to death row speech, like come to the Nation of Islam. If you don't feel respected or protected, we got you. They cut that part out. They just leave you with least respected, least protected. And because of that, black men traded the man for being black and judged their masculinity on women.
That's right.
Well, even with that line, dirty folks, like you said, they leave out the unspoken part. There's a reality to that line. Even without getting into the actual context of the speech itself, Malcolm protects women of the NOI. So his protection is contractual. You can't just be out here all willy-nilly. Like, no, you got to fall in line, and then you deserve protection.
Hey, you got to come to death row.
Yo, one hit that was left out. Look, when y'all say that, and I keep going back to this part of the movie. Shout out to Denzel. Y'all remember the part when the chick that he was trying to talk to had a dude that was on drugs, and they told him, and years later she gonna be selling that thing. What was she doing when he was walking past in Harlem, being a Muslim and everything? The chick.
She was selling that thing. You know what I mean? But
he kept it pushing.
Yeah, he kept it moving. But you know. Yeah.
But they don't. But they cannot put 2 and 2 together though. They never put 2 and 2 together. Like he said, we're the most unprotected. But the chick that he was with, he walked right past her after she seen the white man. Yes.
Bumpkin, you about to say something?
Bumpkin back.
Hello, the white man's here. Hello, I got a good connection. What's up?
Oh,
You guys hear me good?
Bumpkin back in town.
He on CB, baby.
Let me find out you ain't gonna call Bill Gates, your other white homie, and get your internet up, man. Welcome, Bumpkin. Welcome.
Good. You're the only white guy on the panel right now. You got to hold it down, Bumpkin.
Hey, let's go. Listen. There are only 2 racial groups in this nation that actually put blood, sweat into this goddamn nation, and the orcs have already went through the gate. I don't care.
You know,
they're already here.
I'm so used to black people being the orc metaphor, but I'm going to run with you this time. I'm going to run with you.
No, because black Americans, they have blood and soil to this nation, right? White Americans, we have blood and soil to this fucking nation. These orcs don't have blood and soil to this goddamn nation. They lost a war, and then they waited for liberals to create a goddamn bullshit immigration policy to flood the gates to try to retake their land. Fuck these people. I don't care.
I agree with you.
Let's soften up the F-bombs. Yeah, come on, white man. You got to lead the way. You teaching all the people how to be civilized. You got to be civilized, white man.
Talk like you Scottish.
I forgot.
I agree with the white man.
I forgot you said no F-bombs. My bad.
Well, I'm trying. We may or may not be, keeping a full monetization on the stream, but I'm trying to set a tone on the channel so we can go forward in strength.
You know the most disrespectful thing I heard a Mexican say, or whatever he was, Venezuelan, when he said, "Man, we trying to bring back pure communism."
Hold on,
and like you only here because of capitalism.
Pure communism.
I would expect that from a Cuban, but not a Mexican.
Well, I mean, actually, no. Latin America in general is very left-leaning. So that idea that Latinos are naturally conservative because they're Catholic, don't fall for it.
Bumpkin, let me ask you a question. Do you actually have a problem with black male nationalism?
No. Why would I?
Wait, American man, when you say black male nationalism, do you mean black American male nationalism or black nation?
No.
Okay. I just need clarification. I needed clarification for my sake and for the panel.
I don't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, there's no. See, hold on, everyone. This is what black men, American black men, need to understand. White men don't have a problem with your nationalism, right? Because they understand why you have it.
Well, hold on. Because most black nationalism is actually separatism, and that's why I had to ask you. It's not that I think you're like that, but I needed to actually make the line clear. Because most black nationalism is basically like, we want our own black state. We want our own black ethno state. And I'm like, I don't trust you niggas enough.
I don't trust niggas that trust niggas.
My black nationalism is I'm American, right?
That's Americanism.
Yeah, we're with you on that.
That's patriotism.
Right. You know what? That's why you're messing me up. That's just patriotism. You're calling it black nationalism, and it's making me think of other niggas. You're making me think of them niggas over there.
hold on. It is, but here's the difference, right? And this is the reality that I'm gonna say. I will never have children with a white woman or a Hispanic woman. I will sleep with them, but I will never have children with them. I will only breed with a black woman. That's my
I respect that. I respect that. I respect that.
I do not. I don't agree with it. I respect it. I don't agree with it.
No, it's logically consistent, but let him finish out. Let him finish
That's
out.
his dick, you know. He has a code.
Okay, it's okay.
Right,
It's
that's all I
okay,
said. It's
guys.
logically
It's
consistent,
okay.
but yeah, go ahead, finish your.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with you about it.
Right, just let me finish. Right, I have no problem with white people in America, right, because I understand the history. But my nationalism, I only breed with black women.
But that's sexual preference, bro. That has.
No.
There's a depth to it. Let me
You
speak
gotta
to this
understand
for
it.
a
You gotta
minute.
understand it. You gotta understand it.
Let me speak to this for a minute, please. Right, in the same way that I do not begrudge white people, that like the idea that your white daughter is off dating some black guy and that makes you uncomfortable. You're not the bad guy. You're not a bad person. You're not evil white man.
Yes,
right. Because you have a right to not only a preference in the light, like in the abstract and the surface level, like as a petty concept, like you have a right to preference, right? But it's deeper than that. When they say like I want my grandchildren to look like me, there's a bloodline lineage argument. Like literally, like white folk can trace their genetics to a Scotland mountain or whatever, to a town in Germany or whatever. And I understand that type of lineage and wanting to maintain that unbroken change from then till now. And then honestly, if Black Americans had that unbroken chain, we might actually be able to think like that. But our unbroken chain more or less goes back to the plantation. We start here.
What about the swirling chicks and they little crumb crusher that come from the white man?
They have no nationalism. They have no
because women
so they just exist in the wind.
Also,
right?
Yeah, they're just women, bro. They're just women.
Yeah, women aren't tribal, bro. Only men are tribal.
I get that, but no, can I call what's the name? I'm gonna pass the mic. So when they talk about my black behind going outside my community, put my my dark belly gets these white bellies, these Asian bellies, right? I'm taking money out of the community, but for some reason, Keisha could go ahead and mess with Brad. Don't give her not even a crumb, but she ain't.
She's a girl. Do not quit. Y'all be killing me trying to give adult characteristics, bro, to women. Y'all give adult
the problem she doesn't count. Dirty. Yeah, she doesn't count, but legally she's like a man. She's as equal as any other man. And so logically she wouldn't count. Her whims and her goals wouldn't really mean as much because she would always be under the cover of some guy. But now they're effectively free. They're rogue males. Modern women are rogue males.
Rogue male. I totally agree with them.
And they make more money than sometimes than Brad and Chad. But guess what? He get the bag. He take the money out of the community.
No. I mean, ain't no community, so I'm not worried about that part.
No.
Who take? No. Here's the problem.
Tyler.
I don't look, man. You mentioning girls. I don't care what girls say with clothes on. The money out of the community argument is a political argument. It's not an argument on sexual preference or where you spend your money. Because if you spend your money in the hood, every hood has an Arab that owns all your local stores. That's a political argument of why your alderman doesn't let the people from their community make money in the community. Why they ban you from having businesses on your block, but give it to some Palestinian. That's a political argument. So even if you spend all your money at the gas station in your hood, you gave it to an Arab community. Don't worry about that part. Don't listen to girls with clothes on, bro. And don't listen to pro-blacks. They don't know shit. My argument is, even if you choose to be with a quote unquote black woman, she still isn't your woman. Like if Jamaican men. Man, Jamaican, you get a Jamaican girl. She your color. She not your woman. Different religion, different culinary preferences, all that. And I love jerk chicken, but
Sonny, like Dirty. I think you're on I think you're kind of you're scratching around the real or a realer issue, a more pertinent issue. I think we're discovering as the modern world it's basically feminist government, right? Government exists to like support women being single and living apart from men. Therefore, modernity it kills it's intentionally attacking the very concept of ethnicity. And so we can see it more pronounced with like white people, because technically white people are a global minority. And so they would be like more a little bit worried about, they would be like just more like mortally worried about the concept if you look at the global numbers of things and then how immigration is only being pushed in like European countries or Western white countries. But in reality, the problem persists for any human being.
That was an odd sentence break, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah,
I thought there was more. I thought there was more.
I was actually.
I don't know.
No, I was thinking too much about where I wanted to go next, but
ended the sentence on a comma instead of period.
No, you're right. You're right, because I was trying to regain my train of thought. But the thing is, I was talking about liberalism and ethnicity, right? And so, how can the white man maintain his whiteness if the government owns his woman? How can the black man maintain his blackness if the government owns his woman? Like, it took me a minute, but that's why I was trying to snatch it back to that point.
If you look at the first episode where of All in the Family, right? Not All in the Family. All in the Family. Archie Bunker, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at the first episode when they introduced Michael, who he called Meathead. Everybody knows Meathead, but when he introduced Michael, and he asks Rob Reiner. Anyway,
it's Rob
Reiner. Yeah, Reiner.
I be roasting him on X, you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy work. That's crazy work that you roasting that man. He like 90. Anyway, so so the first episode when he was introduced, he asked Meathead, he said, "Yo, what are you?" He said, "American." Archie said, No. What are you? He said, "White." He said, No. What are you? He said, "Man, I'm a Pole. I'm Polish." And then Archie Bunker, who's a German, was like, "Oh, my daughter brought a Polak to my crib." That's the taking away from heritage, taking away from your national flag, right? And that's what women.
Look, real quick, dirty. Archie Bunker, and I say owned. It's a very crude, clumsy term, but as men, and I know Dirty especially gets what I'm talking about, but Archie Bunker owned his wife, and his wife was a part of the program. She had no issue with the concept because that's how it was forever. But he no longer owned his daughter because his daughter was a modern feminist woman. And that's really what started. That's the heart of that dynamic problem between Archie, his son-in-law, and his daughter.
Bro,
that's why they always have tension.
Hold on.
Yo, I hate to say a lot of men want a Edith, not physically. They wanted an Edith, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because look, no matter how many times that dude Archie was on his office rocker, this dude was going ham. Look, she stood right by him and got him his little beer, his food, and everything, and shut the F up.
No. That's not fair though, bro. That's not fair.
But wouldn't that show a failure on Archie Bunker's end that he didn't own his daughter in the end?
Yes and no, because the whole world had changed by then. So Archie, the whole point of the show was Archie was like the caveman living in modern times, and so his daughter was trying to explain the new world, and she had this new young liberal hippie husband, and they always clashed. Like, that was the very point of the show.
Yes.
And so it wasn't just that Archie himself had failed; the world had moved on around him.
Right, and
Edith was like a reflection of the world.
And Edith, to be fair, it's not that every man wants to Edith. I mean, I'm not saying you don't. What I'm saying is Archie never mistreated Edith. He mistreated everybody else. Got that work. He never mistreated.
And if Edith let it know her feelings were hurt by Archie, he would address it. He would make up to his wife, right? He was so frustrated because he loves his wife. And I'm cursing. He loved Edith because, like you said, it's not so much that everybody wants an Edith, But that type of bond between husband and wife, that's the idea of marriage that I think men are looking for. And it's not so much that I want to be the man just to abuse you, but if you let me know like something's wrong, like, all right, I'll fix it. Like, tell me what's wrong and I'll fix it for you. Because, you know, I actually do love you.
Ironically, then sadly, Struthers ended up being like a hippie for real, and ended up becoming fat, and then going over to Africa to be around black boys anyway.
Yeah, she did. But
they were all hippies. They were all hippies.
Here's the
I
thing.
also want to point something out though, right? Because I find this happens a lot, right? And this is going to trigger some of you guys on the panel. You notice that when I pointed out that I'm a nationalist and only want to date black, everyone sort of gave me all these excuses, but yet when everyone else says it, there's no excuses. Everyone just sort of goes with it, right? The only person that
I don't think anybody gave you any pushback, really. Like,
no, I said go for what you feel, bro.
Yeah.
You willingly want to do it. That's what we were trying to give you pushback on.
My pushback is black is not a cultural norm. There's no religion of black. There's no black changes every 7 years when a new normal comes.
Bro,
so
honestly, I think when most people say black, especially in this country, because black means something else in another country, but we're talking about American black ethnicity. And I think there is a urge to want to maintain whatever it is people conceive of that as, because maybe I think something slightly different than the next person, but in a roundabout way, we're all talking about like the FBA, ADOS type of thing. Like there's an American black identity that I think people want to maintain in the face of all these other black identities.
Okay, here's where I disagree. I agree for men. I agree that men want to do that. Women in general, regardless.
I agree with that, Dirty. I agree with that.
Regardless of the women are American. Women are globalists. They are not nationalists, right? Black women, all women hate their own men. Black women treat
all women do hate their own men.
Right. Familiarity breeds contempt, right?
It's crazy.
Black women treat black men like white women treat black men, but with worse customer service. So when you look at a white, I've heard white girls say that, like, I love sleeping with black guys, but when I get married, I'm gonna get a white guy because I don't know if black men are stable, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Asian women do the same thing.
Right. We're a fetish, right? But everybody else is a fetish. Anything that don't look like you is a fetish, and everybody want to get their fetish off, and I'm cool with that. But the problem is they treat black men who their brothers, their fathers, their uncles, like white women, like other women treat black men like a fetish. They sleep with every car cracker, every thug, every murderer, and then when they want to settle down and treat somebody like a man, they can't see a man in the men that they grew up with because they don't like it. They don't like it.
I agree with you. I'll give you that.
So I'm not going to be with somebody who is born and bred to disrespect me. I'm just not gonna do it. I tried it. My grandmother told me, "Please, you're a smart kid. Please date a black girl." And I tried, Grandma. I tried.
Your testosterone, it'll kill your masculinity.
I tried, Grandma. I tried.
So I got a question. Dirty. Are you admitting? So hold on. In that, right? I ask this: are you admitting that every other man could be treated right except for black men? Because it starts to sound like that.
Yes, I am saying that. And you know why? Because black men listen to girls with clothes on. I'm not afraid to L5 my chick. I got to worry about the police, her brother, her daddy, her other side dude that's in her ear. So
don't forget about the work husband.
It sounds harsh when we talk about it. We always somehow wind up back in this territory, but
I don't know.
It sounds harsh when we go this way. But here's the thing, though. I kind of come to the same conclusion. We all walk our own paths, and I wind up in a very similar place to Dirty Folks in that I realize the major issue with Black American culture, and especially if we're comparing it to like you want to have all the things that white people have, or maybe Asian people either way, the big difference between our social dynamic and theirs is that black men are at the bottom of the black social hierarchy. And black men are perfectly fine with that. And
they volunteer for it.
Right. And so that social dynamic is not going to produce what the opposite social dynamic is going to produce. And there's an unwillingness to accept that.
Hood, and it
Okay.
comes back to guys, and it comes back to when I said that's why my mother looks at me with these eyes and says, "I don't understand what's happening here."
Boomer men do the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. What do you
It's
mean
not just
you're not
boomer men
okay
do the
being at
same
the
thing.
bottom?
Look, it's not just boomer men do the same thing. Dirty. When I go over to like the Freezy panel or to
Millennial men
the
too.
Sharon and
They all have the eyes, right?
Any panel, any black people, any
I
black
really
man
like
that's
the
not
panel.
expressed, any black man that's not expressed red pill, they actually are basically boomers.
Oh, okay, I give you that. But Hood, here's the difference between that.
Look, we gotta throw our generation in that, bro. Look,
No. I'm not
millennials,
saying that you're wrong. No, wait,
Go
guys,
ahead.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. Here's the difference.
What?
Do you give a damn about what your peer group says? Like you respect your dad, you respect your uncles. You give a F what Freezy say? Like Izzy can't move me. You know what I mean? That's why they made me the face of domestic violence, because you can't move me.
Do you know?
Well, it's not even that. It's just that they're so prevalent. We are in the minority.
Right. They're the ones that earth you a wet chick, and that's the problem. So do I want to put my life on the line because she has color? No, I don't.
Yo,
Listen, all right.
I'm gonna tell Hood something, right?
They haven't been live.
All right.
Here's the thing,
All
right?
right.
Bumpkin, what's up? Yeah, bring us out of the gutter, white guy. What's going on, Bumpkin?
Well, no, I'm gonna stay in the gutter a little bit. Okay. Here's the thing. All right. At least when it comes to white women, okay, white women they're hyper social creatures. Okay, that's why they're mainly in favor of globalism. But what really creates a white liberal woman, right? What really creates a white liberal woman is from the get go, their fathers or their brothers or whatever are weak men. Okay, and when they're only surrounded by weak men, that is their interpretation of a man, right? Do you guys know how many white liberal women I have potentially dicked down? Right, I have literally been in a protest on the opposite side. I have been at a protest on the opposite side. I saw that chick less than 5 hours ago screaming at my ass about how I'm a fascist, blah 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 blah. And then I am sitting at an Airbnb and I get hit up on a message on Tinder from that same chick.
You know what?
I've kind of come up with a theory about women in politics. Most of women's political interests are actually sexual motivations. The majority of women's political it always boils like, listen, women's love of the immigrant. You know, the women always are interested in some strange guy. The very concept of a strange guy makes
all
the
dark
nipples
and
hard.
handsome.
Like,
Right.
Women's politics is really just sexual expression.
But they say they're not commodity. You know what's crazy about that, Bunkin? This is a true story. Don't judge me, guys. Don't judge me. In 2011, at the whatever year the Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup, right?
Hood.
No. Whatever year the Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup, I ended up hanging out with a promoter, right? And I was trying to sell my books. I got T-shirts and flyers and all that, right?
You know,
so I'm trying.
Right, Dirty.
I don't know what year they did. Man, I don't pay attention to hockey like that. I'm black. But check this out. So I wanted to be on national TV. I'm born to be primetime, right? So for the first year, WGN, because WGN is a cable station everywhere else in America, but Chicago was our regular channel, right? WGN was broadcasting the Pride Parade. And I'm like, yo, I wanna get banners and be in the Pride Parade so people buy my book. I did that, right? So I get there. The funniest thing, right? The irony of life, right? I get to the Pride Parade and there's so many gays, bro. I mean, it was an uncomfortable amount of men in speedos with angel wings on their back. It was wild.
It is the Pride Parade.
Right. So thank you. So, but I feel uncomfortable, right? I feel uncomfortable. So I text my boy. I text my boy. I say, "Yo, this some bullshit." He texts me back, "Nigga, you know where you was going." I was like, "You got me right." But here's where I give Bunkin his credit. So I'm on this float for technosexuals. I found out a technosexual is the technical term for people that sleep with blow up dolls. I figured that's the safest float for me to be on. I'm on the technosexual float, right? And
you have the wildest side missions. This is a GTA side mission for real. You walked up to a random dude standing on a corner somewhere in GTA. He just started talking to you. Now you wind up on a techno-sexual flow.
Is he CJ or is he Franklin? Which one is
Pride is a secret name for freak. That's what that means.
So this is story, this is so crazy you can't make it up, right? So I end up on a technosexual float, right? And I'm walking on the side of it, right? And there's these 4 girls. I can't remember. They were Latin. I think it was like one or two white girls, and the other 2 were Latin. And I'm at the Pride Parade. Gay men have gaydar. Not one gay man hit on me the whole time. Not one. I swear to God. Not one man was like, "Oh, you look cute. You got pretty eyes." Not one man hit on me. Girls in the crowd was trying to grab me, like, "Oh my God, he's such a cute gay man. I can make him straight." They were trying to snatch me out the parade, bro, and do the whole, bro. I swear to God, women will sleep with anything, bro. Not just anyone, anything. Dildos, shower heads, vegetables. Women are weird, bro.
Yeah.
Let me hold on, bro. Women will do all of that regardless of Pride Parade, bro.
I know Atlanta full of girls trying to turn a gay man straight. I get it, but that's my point to Bunkin. Like, yo, I'm a New York fan. She's like, I'm a Cowboys fan. We mortal enemies. Yeah, you want some coochie? Like, that's women. And then after they destroy your life, they be like, he changed. Like, what?
As every divorce man.
I mean, you should. Here's the thing, right? You should. Here's the thing, Dirty. You should only allow one to destroy your life. You should only need one. You shouldn't have to go through 2 or 3.
And that is Proverbs, because you're right. Ain't no goddamn way.
No, here's the thing, American.
You right about that. Only
American man is right. He's right. He's right.
That's
Here's the problem with that, right? I watched my mom try to destroy my dad, like, black love, right? Trauma bond, right?
He said black love.
So at 15 years old, I realized 2 things.
No, black women trauma bond. Black men don't trauma bond.
If you love black women, you trauma bond.
You got emotional black men out there that feel like they got to go ahead and go through and stand there with a black woman. Like,
nah, bro. Black. Yeah. I mean, listen. Then those are gay black men. Like,
bro. The amount of
harsh.
Look, the amount of.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm harsh, right? Those are gay black men.
No, bro.
Those
men,
okay, you only go through your trauma bonding with one black woman, and then you realize, this is not gonna work. All this trauma bonding.
Here's your. I
you say you're gonna be with a black woman, right?
Exactly, nigga. What? Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, this is an oxymoron.
So here's my thing, right? I knew at 15 years
old. How was it an oxymoron? Unless you guys are saying that every black woman trauma bonds.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
That's what we're saying.
God, I can't go. I can't go.
Even foreign. Look, you got somebody like Joy Reid. Joy Reid, first generation
black out of it. Most women do that.
Shut up, Mr. Oh, he laughing hard as hell.
Joy
Reid, not even American. All she talking about is slavery.
I don't know if this is an American thing.
I'm telling you, Joy Reid, not even American, and all she talk about is slavery and Jim Crow. You weren't even here. Man. Like, this is what they do. I learned 2 things at 15 years old. Number 1, that matriarchy is slavery, and number 2, my whole goal in life was to do the opposite of what they say you're supposed to do. I'm like, I do not want to date a woman. Right. My whole thing is I do not want to date a woman like my mother. I love my mother because she's my mother, but I wouldn't date my mother. Right. You know what I found out when I hit the dating market at the 900? They all like my mama. Different socioeconomic backgrounds, different education, but girls are girls.
Girls are girls.
No,
that was an argument I was having at SKC. Like, yo, bro, he like, oh, you low level women. Nah, I fuck the senators, bro, and she still act like a girl.
Dirty. You didn't realize they all act like your mama.
You supposed to be talking about
you realize?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know how, man. He be dragging this over, but he got some good.
I mean, when you start talking pro-black,
Dirty realized my mother is all of them. There's a difference.
Yeah, she's every woman they all in her.
The idea, and and I'm not just talking about Dirty's mother because I don't want no one to think that I'm like trying to call.
No, I ain't taking it like that.
But
I'm
like,
saying,
Dirty realized, oh, my mother, she's these people.
no,
right?
other way
And
around. I'm not
I
dating my mother.
realized it too. I'm like, oh,
No,
this
no,
is
these people are my
weird.
mother.
Like,
No.
oh,
No, my mother older, bro. So these women are my mother. I watch. This is a true story. I watched
bro.
Yes, because my mother older.
Those
My
women are
mother's
not
an
your
old.
mother, bro.
Nah,
Like,
Dirty got sisters, so he
I
knows.
got.
those women
I
are
got.
not
There
your
was no
mother.
escape.
Bro, I watched my cousin's daughter-in-law, stepdaughter.
See,
So
I ain't got no
he married some
I had a
some single mother, right? 12 years old. I was confused. 12 years old. I watched this girl at my kitchen table clipping her nails, which is nasty in itself. But she's clipping her nails. Her nails was about 1 inch long. She's clipping her real nails to put on 1 inch press on nails.
Torture?
I was so confused. I wanted to cuss her out, and I did. But at first, I had to understand. I said, "Why?" But I had to understand first, right? Like, don't be nasty. Don't be clipping your nails at the kitchen table. But before I even said that, I'm like, "Why are you cutting 1 inch nails to glue on 1 inch nails?" Like we ask women, "Why you cut your eyebrows off to draw on eyebrows?" That type of thing, right? And she was like, "Oh, you don't know nothing." Whoa. And I realized she's her mother, because her mother would do some dumb shit like that. These women are bred like that, bro. So when you say black, that's the culture, not the color. So you're looking, even when you look at trailer park white girls, you say she acting black because black is a culture, not a color.
I don't know. I have to be honest. I think that we're giving real black people a bad rap.
Yeah.
And we're just sort of linking them in with niggers.
No,
right?
no.
Well,
Hold on. I'm going hard ER.
American man is
American man. Would you believe that that y'all might been misled and might not been informed that
No. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why I'm not informed? Because when I look at most of my family, we've all been enriched. We've all have great things, and I'm telling you that like there's not this weird like all of these just like dumb. Now, you know, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it to save.
I think what you're trying to
channel.
say is it's a socioeconomic thing, and that's where I agree with Dirty. The money,
the money don't matter.
The class.
Nah, I'm not going to do it to save
my
hood conservative channel.
Like, dog, all of them doctors,
Right?
everything like
Because
that. I know about 7
Okay, wait. What's the name of the state rep down in Texas? Damn.
Crockett?
Yeah, Crockett. Crockett is a lawyer. She don't act like Keisha.
Do you know that Crockett is not from Texas?
I'm not talking about.
Hold on. No, pay attention, right? Pay attention. Crockett is not from Texas.
Well,
She's actually not from there. Crockett has been carried over there to make black women feel like there's something happening here, but she's not from there. She doesn't actually represent women from Texas.
I think
she represents
the
black
point
women.
Stands, though. She's playing the black woman role pretty well. Like the whole
playing
very well, Oscar worthy,
right? But she's not from there.
It doesn't matter. I just said name a name, and I gave the designation of where she's from. She acts like every black woman, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I be outside.
Now,
it's all in the stock of
I think the problem. I think the problem we're having is just a simple language. Accept the piece of terminology. When you say every black woman, that is automatic assumption that there's never going to be a decent one. And statistically, that just can't be true either. Now, I'm not going to get into the numbers and how rare exceptions do not make the rule, but there will be exceptions. And I think maybe American man, and this is what I struggle with. I don't want to limit myself to the exceptions, but I've already made 3 black children, so I'm out the game no matter what. I'm good. I did my thing for the community.
Good for you.
I'm global breeding now.
Yeah,
so
now listen, I was Johnny Appleseed. I did mine for the team.
I'm
so like what
I'm
American man is saying,
dual citizenships now, bro.
What American man is saying, like I can understand it. Like I did mine for the cause. The ethnicity isn't going to get set back because I didn't reach my replacement level numbers.
you actually got
between me and my baby mama, we created another black person to replace each one of us and an extra one just to play it forward. I have done my part for the replacement level. That being said, I'm out the game though.
Here's the thing,
Well,
Jasmine.
my game has changed. My game is expand.
Hold on.
To the world.
Hold on. Let me say this.
Hold on,
Jasmine
man. Don't stop my quick
Crockett.
campaign, dog. Can I make a quick campaign? Just in
Dave, you're fucking
somebody
useless.
out there.
You're a liberal, dumb
nigger
male
globally. It's expanded globally.
Dave,
That's
you
what I'm
should
looking
die.
for.
You're a dumb nigger liberal male that should die. Most likely.
Wow.
Go on record and say
that was harsh, American man.
That was
real harsh, American man. Anyway, you was trying to clean up the
diabetes.
Dave is a nigger male that should die.
Wait, I gotta calm down. This
is why we don't have the green.
Wait.
This is why we don't have the green dollar sign. I'm gonna blame it on American man when it happens.
This is a monetized channel.
I know.
You know what?
He just mad. He cock blocking mad that I'm finna go global.
No, you're just a dumb nigger male.
He mad at
No, that's it.
I don't even know what we. I don't even know what we're arguing about no more.
We arguing.
American man, you
It
were
wasn't
saying
supposed to be
something
no
else.
arguing. He mad at me campaigning.
Really?
Globally.
Well, you shouldn't be doing that anyway, Dan. Get a hold of yourself. Get a hold of yourself, bro. Anyway, American man, you were saying something.
Hating ass.
Here's the thing.
But we do. But he does. But back to what I said, American man. I have to tell y'all that the nigger population, since you brought it up, the nigger population has outpopulated the actual good black folks out there. So we are in idiocracy in the so-called community.
I don't think that's true, bro. I think that all the good black men just got white wives, bro. I think they just got white. I think they just got white wives, bro. No. I think they just have white wives.
I think it's at all.
Look, here's the thing, bro. You're making a argument based on result, but the result has a variable, right? So if you're a variable guy, right, you're a college educated,
right,
a man with options, right? 6'6" dude, right?
Right.
And you have standards for your life. That's gonna discount like 80% of the pro-black love in the first place, right?
Exactly.
Then you have to say, I don't own my children. Not only do I not own my woman, I don't own my children.
That is true.
So now, if you put your foot down and she not an eat at the like, yo, I love Archie. Now she'll take your kid and turn them either gay or a killer anyway.
Right.
So
you see, 10, 20 years ago, that type of knowledge wasn't really just being thrown around casually, though. That's kind of where it starts to become a slight generational thing. Like going forward, I bet you see less and less of that type of thing because what you just said will make more and more sense. But 30 years ago, when we were all young, nobody was thinking like that.
Nope. Yeah.
Because we had to figure it out on our own.
Guys like Dave. Is that Dave?
Hey man, don't be mad because I'm going to find me a foreign chick and start another family.
Right? He has no control of his own self. He's just he's the nigga that we look at and we're like, all right, you pathetic nigger. Like, just
that boy, Becker man just wants to.
He just wants to kill him on the stage. I know, right?
Depressing ass.
He sound kind of racist. But
everybody's wanting to kill Dave. That's weird. I don't know why it happened.
Right.
Everybody wants to kill Dave. That's like a whole show unto itself. Everybody
he's trying to bring back he's trying to get some black protection shit going.
Wild, bro. Look, like men like Dave need to go.
No, you're mad that I'm not on the plantation like what you just
I'm mad that you are.
You kind of are.
You are emasculated. Right?
But nah, but you are kind of on the plantation. You just won't let me. But here's the thing, because I started to kill Dave.
Dave, you are emasculated. You think it's emasculated.
No. He's a male feminist, but he think he's masculine. But here's the thing.
Bruh,
the problem. No. Here's the problem with.
We'll hum it up right now. I bet you I
No. Here's the problem. Wait. I want to help. I want to help Dave out. I want to help Dave out though. This is a teachable moment for the people in the audience. the problem with saying you're gonna get a foreign woman just because the problem is it accentuates how weak black men are. Because I'll tell no. Listen, wait. No. Wait. Let me finish. Wait, let me finish. Because you're looking for another man to train your toddler correctly. That's what it is. Why do people want Asian women?
Citizenship.
You can get dual citizenship without getting a girl.
Get it. You know what? I'm gonna kill two arguments with one. I'm gonna kill two arguments with one sentence. Look, first of all, men. You just killed your own what's the name? What you just said. So if me going over there to what's the name? He already trained his toddler. Then he come over here, or then he go over to Africa and get my trained toddler and take her in, under his wing and brought us over here into slavery. Are you saying that, sir? That's one argument, but no, it's actually three. It's actually that was the first.
Can I?
That was the first.
Well, wait. Real quick. I think. Hold on. Let me kind of streamline that whole thing. That's what it sounded like. I think the smoothest way to rebut that is to say that by the definition that Dirty is using, all Western men are weak, because it's not really the man. It's the whole state of affairs that weaken the men. At least that's how I look at it.
We can go
right?
Throughout history,
but Hood,
in memorial, throughout.
Hold on, right? Let me tell you something.
I'm actually right.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you.
Hood is actually right, though. Hood is actually right.
American man, and then Dirty folks, and then I think that was McCoy. We gotta have some order, please.
I took a small hat woman to aisle 5, right? And her grandfather told her, "Oh, he took you to aisle 5? Oh, he really loves you."
Hey,
wow.
I don't think
that's the old world, bro.
That's
the Archie Bunker world.
Yeah, that's the old world.
I don't think you guys realize, right? That's why I say you niggas, like a lot of you niggas are weak. Not all of you, right? I'm not implicating all of you, but a lot of you niggas are weak, right? Because here's the thing: her grandfather said, "Yo, he took you to aisle 5. Oh, he really loves you."
Bro, I'm with you. I'm with you on all angles. I don't disagree with you, right? Because my first thing is when girls come to me, I'm like, "What did you do?" Because he didn't ask whoopings don't fall out the sky. What did you do? Right. So the argument of this, and you're right. Hood is absolutely right. The West world is weak. They make laws to protect the daughters that they put a key around and say, "Take care of yourself." But the rebuttal to they went to Africa or wherever and snatched your woman and trained her is he owned her. She was property.
No, we trained her first before he came.
No. Black men did not train her.
Property. That's a whole other thing, bro.
Yeah,
niggas don't understand. That's why I tell you, niggas don't understand. They don't understand nationalism. They don't understand any of it, bro.
They don't understand it. No, they don't. They don't understand
you guys are trying to hold on. I want McCoy was trying to jump in there before because I know I had a little order too. I want to get McCoy in here real quick. He has something to offer.
Right,
yeah. Hey, yeah. My bad. My wife's making a little noise in the back. But look, what I was gonna say is, even though the Western men are kind of like pussies, one thing that America does have is we have like this right wing that is, the fascist, the alt-right, because everywhere around the world, nobody, even Canada has a right, they have a right wing, and they wouldn't even be close to voting for Donald Trump. They think that we are like literally fascist, disgusting people, which really makes them pussies.
The American right wing is the only real global right wing.
And you know what's weird about that? Because Canada is kind of liberal. Here's what's good, because my boomer dad was talking about Donald Trump. Let me live. Don't shoot me, right? Don't date me. But anyway, look, my dad was having this conversation yesterday when he was talking about, man, they made the Tea Party to take down the only black man because they was trying to take down Obama. I'm like, yo, Tea Party happened before Obama. He's like, but don't worry about that. He's like, yeah, and we so weak that they voted in Donald Trump and he will. I said, hold on. Everybody loved Donald Trump until Obama roasted him at the presidential dinner, right? Everybody loved Donald Trump. He was in all the hip hop videos. He was at all the boxing matches. He was on Home Alone. Loved him. Obama did 2 hot speeches. He was a first-term senator. Before that, he was a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Like he had no history, no
Nonprofit
agenda.
union lawyer.
So y'all running around talking about, man, boo the black man, but there's no other. Obama had, and he didn't finish his whole term. That's how Blagojevich got in the feds because he tried to sell a seat that Obama had to give up. So you only did 2 years out your 4-year term. You did a half a job, and then you got elected to the highest place in the world. You know why? Because he speaks so well. Because, you know, if you speak well, if you're articulate, that means you're intelligent, right? So he speaks so well. So you made him a president, and nobody said anything about a man with only 2 years of job experience, right? And that never voted on any bill. There's no record of Obama taking any stance in the Illinois Senate on a vote.
Well, that's the Chicago way, baby.
But nationally he got voted, right? But then you mad at Trump because Trump got elected without 2 years of prior experience. It's crazy how the media makes everybody good for you the bad guy. I mean, that's biblical though, because y'all be like, oh, I love God, and God sent famine and locusts. Devil ain't do nothing but be a dirty Mac like yo Eve. You know Adam ain't shit. Yo Job wife, you know your man ain't shit. Yo Jezebel, Jezebel, you know your man ain't shit. Like that's all he did. The whole date was dirty Mac. He ain't kill nobody, he ain't do nothing. But he the liar, right? God, locusts, famines, floods. Oh, I love God. Y'all crazy. Like niggas say y'all anything. So y'all
you really a Mason, Dirty.
Hey, nigga, I told you I'm in every gang, bro. Look, so y'all in this motherfucker, man, looking at
me
y'all
too, Dirty.
Y'all looking at everything from a globalist point of view, like a colorist point of view instead of a man point of view. All men want the same. Here's the thing I say about Western men. This is what I say about Western men.
I mean, what part of
Western men are pretty much intelligent.
Bang them all around the world.
Western men are pretty much intelligent people until you add a girl. Then they get real dumb. The simp is crazy, right? They be at class SSS mage, and then you bring a girl in, and they're like, oh my God, I gotta leave the guild. Like, and this is where we're at. We've simped ourselves into the epitome of the 19th Amendment.
Yep.
Right? Just simped our way all the way through.
What's the 19th Amendment?
Are you trying to say that westernized men is nothing but a bunch of concuserves only here for the benefit of said benefit the society of?
Well, I've been explaining this for a couple of weeks now because I've been just thinking my way through different ideas at different times, and the government essentially functions to keep women living single and apart from men. Most of the laws that come through from a social dynamic are done with, at the very least, they don't upset that if it doesn't help that outright in some way. So when you have
cool with me.
your
like
women's rights, you literally all that stuff.
And like Jay-Z said in that song, that's cool with me. I mean, feminism freed me. I mean,
no, it didn't free you because you're socially and financially liable. So women are free, but men are always on the hook. That's kind of the trick of it all.
That sounds like a y'all problem. I mean, I can't do just a bare minimum, and I just
no. That's not. Here's the thing. Even if you do the bare minimum,
y'all problem. It's a group problem. So an individual may find his way through it, but groups are going to suffer because that's just
not only that, but you didn't get out of it. Here's the problem with that, right? They say, man, if you get married, you're gonna get it's a 50% chance you're gonna get divorced, right? Yep. Alimony. Yep. So dudes say, yo, I ain't getting married no more, but I just live with the chick. Boom, palimony. All right, cool. I ain't even gonna let us live with me, bro. But I do wanna have a kid my own. Right, that was come next, right? I don't even want to live with her, but I want to have a kid. Boom, child support. But she own a kid. Paying for something you don't own is like being a co-signer to a car that somebody else drive, but they don't pay the note, and you paying it to keep your credit right, or you go to jail in a place with no debt or prison. Think about that.
And this is why a while ago, this maybe a year or two ago, SKC and I had this conversation about feminism is actually a class war, because what winds up happening is when you're in the upper classes, you can take the financial hit, and it probably doesn't even consume your affairs as much as it would, because you have lawyers to show up to court for you and all that. You got people to handle things for you. But you're a regular guy. You drive a bus. You got a regular job at a factory or something like that, and you've worked your way up into the middle class. You got a home, got a nice car. Maybe your wife and you both have a car and all that. You have assets now. And then for her to want to just split that in half or whatever the legal split is, it's devastating for a lot of guys. And it's like life consuming. You know what I mean? So now instead of the whole group, wait a minute. That's not even a killer. Now, instead of the whole group as a family maintaining an upward trajectory, you've just obliterated all of that trajectory. And so now the kids are now the children of a single mom and a broken home, and all that comes with that.
Oh, well.
The father's life is thrown into chaos. He may or may not ever recover. Some guys do, a lot of guys don't. And this is what I mean about it's class war on the lower classes. This is why it's harder for the upper class to it's harder for the lower classes to kind of rise up, because a lot of the basic things about the male-female dynamic are now just the very thing that ruin your life.
And on top of that, even if you don't have kids or don't have a wife, your taxes have to pay for it. That link card comes from somewhere. That Section 8 money comes from somewhere. That public school money comes from somewhere. So even if you don't have a kid, if you don't have a kid or a woman, you're paying for women and kids that you don't even get to sleep with, which is like divorce without being married.
Okay, so what's the solution? Make sure that they are with the women working to pay their taxes.
Y'all really missing
the solution is way bigger than this.
I'm not that.
But I'm just saying that's the problem.
All right, so
I'm not the guy that can wave a magic wand and make the solution happen, but I can understand the problem.
I mean, we can't wave magical ARs to the national capital, and but that'd be a different task at hand. But a lot of
those aren't magical, bro.
Those they not magical. They real ARs.
Yeah, those ain't magical, bro. Anyway, bro. Speaking of magic, man, we gonna wrap this one up. It's been wonderful, but we running into 3 hours. I feel like that's a great time to save this conversation, man. It only gets worse after the 3 hour mark. I've learned this lesson. Everything after 3 hours, especially on Black YouTube.
Test it out, man. Things days, man. Let's go to the 4 hour, man. Might break the.
I've done it before. I know it gets crazy. Now I gotta go.
Who said black love is magical, but the ARs are real? That's crazy.
That's a fact, bro. That's a bar.
That is a bar.
You know me. I'm power over romance, man. Romance is for chicks, bro. That's for girls who learn how to read. You can give them romance. I need real things.
I saw something real quick. I'm gonna say this, bro. Somebody sent me a clip. And they said, man, romance to a woman is infidelity. And then somebody, and I was like,
I saw that same clip.
You saw that clip?
Think about every romance novel, all the romantic movies girls like, especially like the big ones. They're always about some girl cheating on her husband with some new guy.
Yep. Hey, before you go, now look, shout out to SKC. See, look, the way I feel it, I don't care. See, look, majority of the lower class is some other N-word folks that I was talking about earlier, and like SKC with his little segue, I'd rather betray the community before they betray me, and I mean that ish. I walk with that ish. I feel that ish in my heart. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? We done right there, man. Y'all have a great night.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.